Lopez and Redondo. It gives them an opportunity to blood some young stars. The English coaches may well be looking at Martin Palermo, who's been linked with a number of European teams, the leading scorer in Argentina last year with Boca Juniors. He plays alongside a 21-year-old, the number 22, Juan Riquelme. And another young player is Walter Samuel, who gets his big chance, the number 6, in the centre of defence. Well, Ecuador are complete outsiders for this competition. Very little is known of them. They have one highly rated player called Jaime Ivan Caviades, but he doesn't make the starting lineup. The Peruvian striker, their probably the most famous player in that starting lineup is Holger Quinones, who plays for Barcelona in Ecuador. Well, we have Chris Waddle and Steve McMahon with us before kick-off. This is the one that we've been looking forward to. There should be a lot of goals in this, shouldn't there? And mainly to Argentina, we expect.
Yes, definitely. I think Argentina, without the superstars, will still finish the game. I think a comfortable win. It might be 2, might be 3, but they'll end up comfortable winners. Even though they're missing their foreign contingent, there are a lot of talented players in there and a few that could hit the world stage very soon.
Yeah, you'd have thought so. Too strong for them. It all depends when they actually get their first goal. If they get it early on, then it could be a glut. But if you know, and again, if it's tight and they keep it tight, then you could get frustrated. So it's a matter of when they get their first goal to how many they will go on and get.
So much pressure on Argentina. They only drew with Latvia recently 0-0. They lost against the United States. An immense amount of pressure on them because a lot of their fans have come just across the border to see their team in action in Luque. Let's go across to this compact little stadium to join our commentary team, Ray Wilkins and Alan Parry.
The Estadio Feliciano Caceres, almost full to its 20,000 capacity then. This one of the smallest grounds, in fact, being used for the championships, and the setting for the first appearance of one of the favourites to win the title, Argentina. We're in Luque, just north of Paraguay's capital city of Asuncion, where this tournament got underway 48 hours ago. And what a hard act Argentina have got to follow tonight, because if the seedings work out correctly, they are predicted to meet Brazil in the Copa final in just over 2 weeks' time. And of course, yesterday the reigning champions got off to the finest possible start, thrashing Venezuela 7-0. It'll be tough, that's for sure, for Argentina to match that kind of scoreline, but really they'll certainly be expecting a winning start against Ecuador. Argentina with a fabulous Copa America record, 14 times winners. It's a record for the competition. They hold jointly with Uruguay, and they've brought a strong squad here to Paraguay. Despite the absence of players like Batistuta, Veron and Crespo, there's a lot of talent and experience in this lineup, and I'm sure you remember the likes of Ayala, Zanetti, Simeone and Lopez from last year's World Cup finals. The opposition tonight, Ecuador, have never won the Copa America. Their best placing is 4th, which they've achieved on 2 occasions. The most recently was 6 years ago. They are traditionally one of the poor relations of South American football, and they share with Venezuela the rather dubious distinction of being the only countries from the continent who have never made it to the World Cup finals. So a big night for them, and a very good atmosphere here. Argentina, of course, a short distance away from Paraguay. They've brought a lot of fans and some exciting new players for us to look at, many of us for the first time tonight, including this gigantic character, Martin Palermo, South American Footballer of the Year. And he will partner Barros, Schelotto in the Argentine attack. Both those players, in fact, teammates at club level as well for Boca Juniors, one of the top clubs, of course, in the country. This is Riquelme, another who they say is a rising star. And as ever in South American football, the biggest extroverts on the pitch are usually the goalkeepers. Some very familiar names like Simeone in the Argentina lineup tonight. We expect them to play in a 4-4-2 formation with Ecuador in a very similar style. Gilberto Hidalgo of Peru is tonight's referee, and alongside me Ray Wilkins, really looking forward to this one, Ray.
Yes, very much so, Alan. I love watching the Argentinians play. I thought in the World Cup they were absolutely superb, and as you quite rightly state, to actually be able to leave the likes of Batistuta behind, they must have a wonderful squad of players. It's a good job Passarella isn't still manager. I don't think Burgos has had that mop on his head, I've got to say. But I'm really looking forward to it. They're a very, very entertaining outfit. It'll be interesting to see how Ecuador do approach this one, because it is going to be a tough game for them. I expect Argentina to have the majority of possession of the ball, and we're going to have to see how Ecuador can really cope with that.
Argentina holding the record of 14 Copa wins jointly with Uruguay. This is their 36th time in the competition, a record that in fact only Uruguay can beat, although they failed to reach even the semi-final of the last two tournaments. A new coach, Marcelo Bielsa, who took over from Daniel Passarella after the World Cup. Passarella, of course, shortly to become Uruguay's new national coach. Argentina, World Cup quarter-finalists last year, losing only to that great goal by Arsenal's Dennis Bergkamp late on in the game against Holland in Marseille. Any major football competition is enriched by the presence of Argentina, particularly a successful Argentina team, and certainly the bookmakers expect them to do well. They are rated 9-4, second favourites to win the competition after Brazil. Argentina's form this year, 6 internationals before the Copa America, only 2 wins, 3 matches drawn, and 1 shock defeat against the United States of America. They were beaten 1-0 by the States, and that's certainly a result that produced shockwaves back home. The referee not too happy about something here, a delayed kick-off. Difficult to see exactly what the problem is, but he looks a little bit concerned. Not half as concerned, I'm sure, as the Ecuador defenders and goalkeeper will be about the prospect of facing Argentina in what is, of course, their opening match as well here in Group C. Ecuador go on to play Uruguay on July the 4th, and then Colombia on July the 7th. All the matches here in Luque. And at long last, we're underway with Ecuador in the yellow shirts, Argentina, of course, in their so familiar blue and white stripes. What kind of match would you expect here, Ray?
Well, as I said before, Alan, I expect Argentina to have the majority of possession of the ball. They do enjoy a pressing game as well. As we can see right from the kick-off, they're trying to win the ball back very early in Ecuador's half, and have done so.
And a lovely through ball by Palermo has given Ecuador the first problem to deal with. Barros, Schelotto, his international and club teammate, almost onto it. But you have to say, a lively start as well by the Ecuadorians, and that far post cross by Moreira, just a little too deep, kept in play though on the far side by Delgado, and he almost released his attacking partner Graziani.
Well, I think it's quite clear where both sides are going to go, Alan. Ecuador breaking out defence very well there and got themselves into a fine position. A good cross coming across the face of the area as well, so let's hope that continues.
A lively start here. Ecuador determined not to do what Venezuela did last night and capitulate against one of the competition favourites. They are, Ecuador, ranked 40-1 outsiders, and only Venezuela, who began the competition with odds of 200-1, have longer odds than Argentina's opponents tonight. And that's probably a pretty fair reflection of what's going to be a very difficult group for Ecuador to survive in.
I think having seen the earlier game, Alan, is a perfect example to look at. In actual fact, Colombia looked very, very impressive, especially in the first 45 minutes. Uruguay came back at them, but unfortunately their failings still let themselves down. With the 2 guys getting sent off, so it's going to be a tough old time for Uruguay. It's a very, very difficult group.
Crossed there by Gustavo Lopez, who plays for Real Zaragoza in Spain. Obviously most of the Argentine squad, and quite a few in Ecuador's lineup, play their club football outside their home nation. South American football exports are to be found really all around the globe.
Yes, I think the thing with them, Alan, they contain great qualities, not only their technical ability, but they have a tremendous will to win as well. And I think the South American players, especially Argentinian players, in Italy especially, have done exceptionally well.
Through ball there by Moreira, and an easy first touch of the ball for German Burgos, Argentina's tall, commanding-looking goalkeeper. Sorin trying to win it back, but Ecuador don't look in the mood to be overawed by the quality and reputation of their opponents. They've made a very positive start here. And the cross by George, easily cut out by Ayala, one of the most experienced defenders in Argentina's lineup tonight. But back come Ecuador again. However, as Venezuela found last night, it's conceding that first goal that can have such a crushing effect on confidence. Venezuela made a reasonable start against Brazil, but once the first goal from Ronaldo went in, they collapsed like a pack of cards. And Argentina on the move again with Zanetti. Barros, Schelotto. And that's a dangerous cross, and his partner Palermo could have had the first goal then inside the first 4 minutes. There's that club understanding evident.
Sorry, Alan, there's that little bit of understanding we were talking about the other evening. As soon as that Schelotto got the ball wide, Palermo knew exactly what he was going to do. He was going to whip that across the face of the box. And really, having scored so many goals this season, you'd have expected him to have done a little bit better with that Palermo. Nevertheless, a good passage of play.
Top scorer he was for Boca Juniors as they won the title with 20 league goals. He's a giant of a man. Memories go back, of course, to that fantastic tournament in Argentina in '78. Kempes and Luque, a fabulous, fabulous partnership written into the history of the game now. And maybe these two can make their own page in Argentina's history. Palermo's downward header. The goalkeeper hesitated, took a bit of a risk there. Ceballos, but got away with it. However, it is a corner. Yes, he was very positive there, Alan Ceballos. The ball came in, and he had one thing in his mind. He was going to get it away, and he did very well. The ball coming in here. I think Palermo wasn't too happy with the challenge, and I've got to say, that was a very poor defensive challenge there. But here we see Ceballos coming out, stood up very well. And Argentina couldn't make the best use of the first corner. Let's see if they do a little better this time. Riquelme, the man who is the new playmaker in Argentina's midfield, will take it. Schelotto looking for a bit of movement, and again Palermo flying in on the far post to Simeone's header, which I think was intended to hit the target, almost picked the striker out. He's not the tallest man, is Simeone, but he does do very well from set plays. He does very well for Inter Milan as well. There's Palermo coming in on the back post, just unable to get a touch to it. But Simeone's dangerous. You can actually see from looking at that corner kick why Ecuador do concede a lot of goals. Their marking was atrocious. One of the most experienced players in the team, of course, Simeone. It was a year ago almost to the day, and he and David Beckham figured in that infamous incident. Argentina in a bit of trouble here, and they could well have gone a goal behind. Yeah, George with a great chance. Yeah, he hesitated, Alan, didn't he? He had a lot of time there. Burgos does exceptionally well here as the ball drops. I think if he'd have taken it first time, he had half a chance. But once he took a touch, he was far too close to Burgos, who did exceptionally well to stand up. He was here once again. A good stop in the finish. But George will be very disappointed he didn't do a bit better. Frickson George is his official name, as we repeat so often here. They do have several chosen names, family names, nicknames as well in South American football, so don't be too confused when the captions don't tally with our commentary. He is known as Frickson George, and he would have been known forever, I would think, if he put that one away and given Ecuador an early start, an early lead. Well, that might just have rattled Argentina into a bit of a retaliation here. Barros Schelotto finding his cross knocked away by Quiñones. Cannavali with a disappointing ball. Ecuador, remember, have never had much success in this competition down the years. They've never won it. And here's a man with a formidable record to live up to, Bielsa, Argentina's new coach, just offering some early advice here as play stops because of an injury to Frickson George. Didn't seem too much wrong with the challenge from Barros Schelotto.
I think his ego is slightly damaged as well, Alan. I think he might have felt that he should have done a little bit better with the chance he had at the other end.
Seems like the referee obviously produced a yellow card there as well. The first red cards of this Copa America being produced in the previous game. And I don't suppose you'd have got very good odds for predicting that Uruguay might have been the first team to fall foul of officialdom in that sense. There were 12 red cards in the previous Copa tournament a couple of years ago. Well, Uruguay have got us underway in that particular column already with 2 of their own. Here's Samuel, another of the new young stars for Argentina. Walter Samuel, he's only 21. The control instant, the technique excellent. And Argentina in recent times have lost that reputation that Uruguay apparently still have of being rather too keen on the physical side of the game, and they've become a much more watchable and better team for it, really.
Yes, I think you're dead right, Alan. They are a wonderful footballing side, and they do play very competitively, but they stay within the rules of the game now. And some of the quality of the football, as we saw then, about 10 passes put together, and they were just a bit unfortunate with an unlucky bounce.
And they continue to make progress here. Palermo well placed in the middle, but the cross from Lopez was prevented. Palermo still in a good position here. Lopez again unable to keep control for long. Good skill on the ball by Carabaldi. Injured George back in position now. This is Blandon. Well, they're certainly not going to lay down and die just because it's Argentina they're playing. Ecuador, that's evident already, right?
It's been a good start, hasn't it? And you know, full credit to the way Ecuador have come out for this game. You know, they're not going to lay down, Alan. They're going to have a real go, and they're actually playing some very nice football themselves as well.
10 minutes gone, 0-0. Ecuador didn't win a single match in the first 5 Copa tournaments they entered over a period of 8 years, but they've certainly improved a lot since those days. The highest position they've ever had was 4th when they hosted it in 1959 and then again in 1993. The Ecuadorian coach, Carlos Xavier, who's been in charge just over a year now. He was never an international player himself, though he's a widely experienced coach at club level. There's Ibarra. In the middle of the field, Simeone and Riquelme, providing a very talented duo. George fit again, and back in the action. Moreira, the number 7. He's only 20. Quite a few of the Ecuador squad, graduates from the successful under-17 squad from 2 or 3 years ago. This is Ariel Graziani. Free kick to Argentina. Barros Schelotto, the player fouled. Didn't make their World Cup squad, Barros Schelotto. Remember Batistuta opting to stay out of the tournament this time. The man who first came to international fame in the Copa about 8 years ago now. Dangerous free kick and a goal! The goalkeeper absolutely rooted to the spot. Argentina take the lead. ball by Simeone.
Yeah, we spoke about that earlier, Alan. What a quality ball that was put in, though. Simeone coming in on the back post with a fabulous header. Downward header, not the tallest man, but very, very good in the air, especially from attacking situations. This really is a fantastic goal. But you've got to look at the quality of ball in. We've spoken about it before. If the ball doesn't come in the right areas, you're not going to have a prayer. But this ball was hitting with such pace as well. Here we see it coming in, whipped in. Very poor defensive marking once again, but what a fabulous header from Simeone.
Diego Simeone, one of the most experienced players in this team, capped over 70 times by Argentina, captain of course in the World Cup, also played in the World Cup in USA 5 years earlier than that. One of the most talented players surely in this competition, giving Argentina a wonderful start.
You'd have to say, Alan, that's a fabulous goal, isn't it? What a ball in there from Riquelme on the right hand side there. Great ball in, but what a header. Good start to the game, this is.
And it's an earlier lead than Brazil managed 24 hours earlier against Venezuela. Can they continue to build on it in the same spectacular fashion as the Copa America holders and favourites?
It's always the same, Alan, when you see the sides like the Ecuador play, is that yes, they're good in possession, yes, their technique is superb, but when it comes to picking people up defensively, they go to sleep, and I think that's the failing that they have. And you'll find if there are more goals scored, more often than not, there'll be defensive mess-ups that they make. And when you're playing against the likes of the Argentinians, you can't afford to do those sort of mistakes.
And certainly goalkeeper Ceballos didn't blink, didn't move a muscle. The moment the ball left Simeone's head, he and everyone else knew where it was going. Come back by Zanetti in the middle of the field for Argentina, but now Ecuador trying to compose themselves again. Quiñones, who is one of the oldest players in the competition at 36, their centre-back. Referee allowing play to go on here. Moreno with a good through ball. Well, that was a very finely timed challenge, but the danger hasn't gone yet for Argentina, and the goalkeeper's made a hash of that. It was a strange decision by Burgos to try and kick the ball clear. He almost deflected it straight to Delgado, in fact.
What a ball in that was, Alan, by the way. I thought Burgos did well in the end, but I'm sure Ecuador should have had someone going across the front post and just tapping that in. I think it was Hurtado that got forward and put the ball across, but that was a good occasion there for Ecuador.
Well, it's been an excellent opening here. Quarter of an hour gone. A couple of near misses. One for either side. Simeone's goal, and Ecuador still not believing that the result here is a foregone conclusion. If they continue to play so openly, this could be one heck of a match. Here's George. We had the first chance of the game, of course. Snatched at it and missed.
We see the challenge going on. I think we've seen Simeone act like that before, haven't we? About this time last year, in actual fact. Nothing wrong with him. Up he gets and he's ready to play on. He just didn't win the tackle. That young man really did get in and sort him out. Good tackle from him.
Well, David Beckham's probably got other things on his mind this week, but should he happen to be watching, I'm sure there would have been a wry smile from him at that moment. Ecuador build again. Good skill from Zanetti, and leaves it to Samuel to complete the clearance.
It does go to show the sort of depth that the Argentinians have in their side when you think Veron isn't even in the midfield section, a young man also, and a really fabulous footballer.
Moreira stringing things together in the middle of the field for Ecuador. And that wasn't a bad ball either. Graziani onto it and earns his team a corner.
That was good movement there from Graziani. And Ayala, a very experienced player with AC Milan, who's coming out of winning the Italian Championship, makes a good challenge here. But that's good movement from Graziani. But what a good tackle.
One of several players in Ecuador, Scott Graziani, who plays in the Mexican League. In fact, he was actually born in Argentina, so it's a big night for him, this, playing against his home nation. Barros Schelotto winning the throw for his team. and ignoring the particular rules about tie-ups and neatness of the kit. As we take a quick look at the Ecuadorian substitutes. Argentina leading by a goal to nil here then. Simeone the scorer. Burgos delivers the clearance long. Flicked on by Palermo, who's going to win most things in the air, I would imagine.
He's a big lad, Alan, isn't he?
He's a sort of untypical South American player in a sense.
Very much so.
He's said to be on his way to Europe after the competition finishes. Not quite sure yet which of the big clubs, neither Italy or Spain presumably, will be signing him. But a lot of interest in Martin Palermo. Strong run forward there by the skipper Montano. Well, they still look quite lively here, Ecuador. George turning his back on that. Rather fortunate that his team retained possession with Moreira. Luis Moreira, only 20. Loose ball there by Blandon. Riquelme to Samuel. Certainly Moreira seems to be the main man in the middle of the field. Number 80 at Blandon. But most of the attacks for Ecuador have gone through Moreira. As you say, Ray, in this middle third of the field, they certainly do look neat and tidy, but it's the important ends of the field where they've been a bit lightweight so far.
Yeah, you're dead right, Alan, and that will cost them dearly, because if you don't pick people up like Palermo, then you're going to have a big problem. And Simeone from set plays will always be a threat, so you must mark people tightly, and unfortunately they don't do that. But in general play, no qualms whatsoever. They can get hold of the ball, they can pass the ball, their movement's good. And I've got to say, they look to have a little bit of pace throughout the side as well.
20 minutes gone here in Luque, and Argentina leading Ecuador by a goal to nil. Argentina have failed to reach even the semi-final in the last two tournaments. They went out to Brazil in the quarter-final in 1995, then Peru at the same stage 2 years ago. And for a team that expects on the world stage, never mind the South American stage, to be in there contesting finals, that's a disappointing record. Can this new look Argentina improve on that this year?
Bit of a mouth-watering prospect though, isn't it? Argentina, Brazil in the final. They couldn't meet each other until that time. That would be very, very pleasant, I've got to say.
Yes, the seeding committee have done their job well there. It's just down to the countries now to live up to their expectation. Hurtado. And one back well there by Palermo. Suspicion of handball, but the referee didn't spot it. They won't like that. The old nutmeg against an Argentine player. That's one to tell the grandchildren about. Nunez gets it back again. Carabali doing well. Setting up the opening, and the goalkeeper didn't look too impressive. Well, once again they could have been punished.
and should have been punished, Alan. That ball dropped into Delgado. It looked a bit of an old swinger there on his left-hand side. Here we see the shot coming in. Burgos gets his hands to it. Not the best save in the world. A bit of an acute angle, and he didn't really get full connection with it. But there was Ibarra back to get that one away.
Both George and Delgado have had chances now for Ecuador. That was a pretty reasonable effort from that distance as well by Hurtado.
They didn't really shut him down too well, Alan. The ball comes out and the Argentinians were a little bit slow getting out to him. He gave him the opportunity to drill one just past the angle there. What a good strike that was. Burgos wouldn't have seen that had that been on target.
Midway through the first half here in Luque, although Argentina lead, there have been suggestions from Ecuador that this is no foregone conclusion, this match. But another Argentina goal might alter that picture. Foul there on Riquelme.
Yeah, the Argentinians have got the confidence at the moment to push three up the front. Lopez really isn't playing as a left-sided midfield player. He's pushing more forward, and they're actually playing with three, with Schelotto and Palermo up the front with Lopez. With Simeone, Zanetti and Riquelme in midfield, it's quite an impressive formation they've got.
And there again is the nutmeg in glorious Technicolor. What the South American phrase for nutmeg is. We'll find that out for the next game. That's your task, Ray.
Yeah, I'll do that for you, no problem.
Graziani in possession for Ecuador. A goal behind. Brandon deciding to go it alone, and that was quite a crude challenge, which quite rightly has earned Ecuador a free kick. Zanetti the culprit.
It was rather crude, wasn't it, going with his wrong foot as well. If Zanetti goes with his right foot, he must take the possession of the ball. But Blandon doing very well.
Manchester United fans might remember Zanetti played against them for Inter Milan, of course, in the European Champions League quarter-final last season. Well, there's another use for the tall, commanding Palermo, back defending very efficiently.
Yeah, there you see the differences from defending from set plays. There you've got Palermo whacking that one away with his head, but no one was going to get a sniff there. The Argentinians are exceptionally good at marking at set plays.
These two countries actually met on the opening day of the tournament 2 years ago and drew 0-0, and they both went on to reach the quarter-finals then. But obviously over the years, Argentina have a far superior record. They've met 13 times in the Copa, and Argentina have never lost, in fact, 8 wins. But perhaps more significantly, the last 7 times they've met in recent years, 5 of those games have ended in draws.
Just looking at the two teams now, you actually wonder where Ecuador can score a goal from, Alan. It's Argentina do look as if they're a threat whenever they go forward, but you'd have to wonder where Ecuador are going to get their goal. They've had a couple of chances and both have been snatched at, so it'd be very interesting if one falls to that man, number 9 Graziani, to see whether he can stick it in the back of the net.
Foul there by Ibarra. Ecuador's free kick. And they produced a bit of danger from their previous set piece, as Burgos is only too well aware. Slung in high. And just prevented from going for a corner there by Samuel. Good little period this for Ecuador. Rather optimistic shot, however, from that distance by Blandon. Jimmy Blandon, bit of a late starter on the international scene at the age of almost 30. Well, obviously Palermo the target here for goalkeeper Burgos' clearance, and he found him pretty well. Delgado being forced wide here loose ball, certainly by Zanetti, which has given Ecuador possession. But now Palermo comes to win it back. Ayala stabbing it forward. It was an excellent pass as well to Barros Schelotto, but his control disappointing.
Very un-Argentinian. It was a good ball through from Ayala. And Schelotto should really have taken that with the first touch, and he'd have been clear down the line.
Argentina perhaps not as dominant so far as many of us might have expected here. Good skill by George to find space down the line. Zanetti coming across to concede the throw. These two nations actually played each other in a World Cup qualifier pre-France 98, Argentina winning 2-1 at home, but they lost 2-0 when they went to Ecuador for the return game. Free kick Argentina here.
It's very similar to when we did Bolivia the other night, Alan. Travelling, they struggle. Ecuador exactly the same. On their travels, they're very poor. But at home, they're always going to be a handful. It's very strange how they can't get their mentality in order to actually play away from home.
Zanetti winning it again. Palermo playing it back. Riquelme's through ball. Helped on by Barros Schelotto. Riquelme wriggling his way into a dangerous position. Moreira doing really well. He's been their star man so far. Here's Graziani with the shot. That was close.
That was fantastic. What a great ball from Moreira there. Fabulous left-footed play there. He actually did well to avoid a challenge on the left-hand side. Picks out Graziani, but look at this. What a strike. I think Burgos was beating all ends up there, Alan, if that's on target. Great strike there from Graziani.
Scored a couple of goals in the last Copa tournament 2 years ago. Ariel Graziani, but as an Argentine-born player, you can only imagine what pleasure it would give him to score tonight. Well, I think we've seen already, Ray, that Ecuador are certainly a better team than Venezuela.
I've got to say, Alan, I didn't think Ecuador would put up this sort of performance, especially going a goal behind. I think they might have capitulated, but they haven't. They've given it a real go, and let's hope they can get back in the game, because it'll make it a very interesting second half.
Quarter of an hour of the first half remaining. Argentina leading by a goal to nil. Riquelme with the through ball, just a little too strong, I think, for Lopez. And the clearance by goalkeeper Ceballos. Zanetti winning it back. Argentina's free kick. Foul on Javier Zanetti, who spent the last 4 years in Italy with Inter Milan. In fact, he was the only man who played in every single game for Inter Milan last season.
He's as fit as a fiddle, Alan, that chap. I'm very impressed by him. I've watched him a hell of a lot, and he really is a superb footballer.
Calabali taking advantage of the surprising amount of room, and then Blandon shot.
Not afraid to have a go, are they? Blandon just got half a yard there, and from 25-30 yards, he really did let Burgos see one coming at him.
Palermo doing well there, but the through ball a little too hard, mind you. They didn't cope with it too well there, Ecuador. Lovely little back healer by Lopez, but it almost caught Palermo by surprise.
I suppose it's because I'm used to seeing Batistuta in that number 9 shirt, but Palermo looks a bit leaden-footed at the moment. He was very slow to react on that ball that was played back to him.
Well, his coach at Boca Juniors has said he's the best striker Argentina has produced for many years. Presumably he means the best since Batistuta, but certainly doesn't seem to have the flair and technical ability and poise of Batistuta. Mind you, not many have, because he really is one of the world's greats.
I think you're dead right there, Alan. I don't think there's a better all-round centre-forward playing world football at the moment.
13 minutes to half-time. Argentina leading Ecuador by a goal to nil, and they have a free kick. Foul on Barros Schelotto. Samuel, Ayala, Captain with an excellent ball. The referee saw a little bit of, well, I don't know whether it's handball or pushing that he's given against Lopez, but certainly Ecuador's free kick.
A bit of backing in, I think he gave it for Alan, but I think he's very unfortunate there, Lopez. He defended the ball very well.
Graziani perhaps the target here for Hurtado. And inadvertently it's reached him via the defender's mistimed clearance. Graziani got caught in two minds then and gives the ball away.
I think we can safely say he's all left foot, Graziani. That was a ball he should have taken on his right side, but he opted to go for the outside of left foot rather weakly.
Strong run here by Zanetti. Barros, Schelotto keeps drifting out to this right-hand side. Ibarra. Well, it was a muscular challenge from George, and it was enough.
He did very well, Alan, didn't he, George? Ibarra really going at him at full pace here. And there's George. Not only we've seen him go forward, but that's good defensive qualities also. Well done.
Hugo Ibarra, yet another from Boca Juniors, who won back-to-back league titles in Argentina, so no surprise they're well represented in the squad, with quite a few of the European-based players making themselves unavailable for this competition. Here's Graziani. Oh, he's done brilliantly there, Graziani. Now, can he deliver the cross? Well, he did, and wins the corner off Ayala.
Yeah, you see he's complaining there, and quite rightly so, Graziani. He did wonderfully well down the left-hand side. He should have put the ball in first time. I think that's what he wanted to do, but no one was in there, and I think that's why he was having a little pop at his forward players. They didn't get in the box quick enough.
Montano, the skipper, forward for this corner kick. George wanted it back here, but in the end the leggy Delgado couldn't shake off his marker. Burgos has had his moments in this first half. One good save and one rather fortunate. Doesn't look the safest, perhaps.
No, if anything, he looks a little bit flashy, Alan, doesn't he? And the second save you're talking about really should have been, the rebound should have been put away by Delgado, but he missed his chance.
10 minutes to half-time. Argentina lead by a goal to nil. Simeone, who scored it, winning the free kick for that challenge there by Quiñones. Zanetti. Offside. Lopez switching over to this flank and involved in a little bit of a discussion there with George.
Yeah, good decision from the linesman there, definitely offside.
Ibarra's through ball, one back quite comfortably by Ecuador. And a long ball from Hurtado. Disappointing the number of times Argentina are giving the ball away here. Graziani for Ecuador, accepting the latest gift. Bali brought down.
All very comfortable, Alan, on the ball, aren't they? They're very pleasant to the eye when they've got possession of the ball, the Ecuadorians, it has to be said.
Can they find a cutting edge to complement this elaborate, sometimes over-elaborate, build-up from midfield?
I would have to say, I think they merit a goal, and I think they've put up a good performance in the first half. Just poor defensive qualities, set plays have let themselves down.
Quiñones, now Hurtado. A bit optimistic there. Oh well, a graphic close-up of why Lopez was so upset a moment or two ago.
The only thing that was missing was his handbag, Alan, I think, that one.
Argentina, incidentally, hold the record for the most number of goals ever scored in Copa América history. The one that Simeone put into Ecuador's net tonight, the 385th they've scored in the history of the competition, and they've won more matches than anyone else, exactly 100 before tonight. Well, they're not having it all their own way here. Graziani in possession. That's a free kick in a really dangerous position.
Yeah, I'll have one thing on his mind there. Graziani wasn't going to get in the penalty area. He wasn't going to get in that box, and Ayala just body checks him out. Sorry, Ibarra just blocks him out of the way.
Well, we've come to expect fireworks when South American players get free kicks in this kind of position. I wonder what Ecuador can produce here. 6 minutes before half-time, they're a goal behind. Hurtado lining things up, and well, it was a little bit obvious and gave the wall time to break and block. De la Cruz keeping possession. The little ball for Moreira, but that was far too easy for Burgos. Did well there, Barros, Schelotto. Now, how does the referee call that one? He's called it against the Argentine striker.
Yeah, I thought Hurtado defended very well there. Got his body in between ball and player and was very, very strong. Obviously Schelotto doing very well there, and here we come. Hurtado's going to come across. Watch him get his body in between the ball and the player. Exceptional defending. Well played.
Delgado with the header at the other end. No real threat. Argentina have won the Copa twice in the last 8 years, 1991 and again in 1993. But at the moment, against admittedly superior opponents to those faced by Brazil in their opening match, you'd say of the big two, it's Brazil who's certainly impressed more as yet. Saying the foot was in there.
I think he's very unfortunate there. He's Carabali. I thought that was a good challenge.
And despite his appeal to a higher authority, this particular authority, referee Hidalgo gives the free kick against him. Riquelme. Ibarra a little lucky there to get the rebound, but he's made the most of it. And the shot wasn't far off target either, although I think really the goalkeeper did have it covered as Lopez lined things up.
Yeah, it was a great ball into him from Simeone. He saw it very early, and this is a cultured left foot that Lopez has, and that's just over the top of Ceballos' crossbar.
Just completed his 4th season in Spain with Real Zaragoza. Didn't make the World Cup squad for Argentina last summer. Riquelme, back it goes to Sorin, and even further back. Now Ibarra. That was a lovely piece of skill there by Barros Schelotto. But Ecuador are certainly not prepared and haven't been really right from the start of this match to think, my word, we're playing Argentina, we better stand off them. They're getting involved.
I think the one thing they do very well, Alan, is they allow Argentina possession in their last third.
Now it's Graziani. as you correctly observed before, Ray, he has to have the ball on the old trusty left foot before he's prepared to shoot.
Yeah, he does. I was just about to say, and I'll break off once again because this looks a bit interesting.
Riquelme driving on here, and Ecuador backing off, and it's a lovely through ball. Oh, well, there was a chance for sure. Barros, Schelotto in the clear almost. You've got to credit the defender, Quiñones, but you would have expected the striker to do better there, Ray.
I don't know why he had another touch, actually, Alan. It was a lovely ball through to him. I thought we could have taken it first time.
Here goes Moreira again. Play swinging from end to end in what's been a very entertaining first half. Moreira got that one wrong. I was about to say the Argentinians are allowed possession in their last third, but once they get anywhere around the halfway line, there's that chance coming in earlier. I thought he might have taken that first time. He got a wicked bounce, it has to be said, but might have done a bit better. And around the halfway line, Ecuador pressed very well for the ball. There's Palermo for Argentina. They lead 1-0. Oh, it was a good ball in. It's just unfortunate for him, picked out a defender. Here's Riquelme playing it through, and the shot scooped over. An opening certainly, but one that Sorin couldn't convert.
Yeah, getting forward well there, Sorin, coming inside instead of going on the outside. But lifted hopelessly over the bar, unfortunately.
Into the final minute of the first half here in Luque. Argentina's opening match in the Copa América. They lead by a 1-0. Ibarra in possession. Excellent play that. Wasn't an easy ball by any means down the line as he was being closed down. Zanetti helps it on. Samuel on further to Sorin, playing in his first ever Copa América. Slowing it almost to jogging pace here, Argentina, in order to keep possession, and they haven't managed to do that. Delgado winning the header, and Graziani just beaten to it. Good covering there by Samuel. Graziani looks quite lively.
He does, and I think he trusts the fact that Delgado, being a very tall man, is going to win a lot of those flick-ons, and he's always on the move. His movement's very good.
Riquelme. A bit of indecision, and then in the end a foul on skipper Montano, and they've got on with things quickly here, perhaps realising that we're now into stoppage time, Ecuador. Moreira. He didn't do his defender any favours there. Argentina claiming it should be their throw. And we can't be too far away from the half-time whistle now. Haven't been many stoppages in this half.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it, I've got to say, and there's been some wonderful football played and a lot of hard work being put in from both sides.
And there is the half-time whistle here in Luque, and a goal by Diego Simeone, David Beckham's old sparring partner, has given Argentina, one of the big favourites to win this Copa América, a first-half lead against a very spirited and talented Ecuador side who are still very much in this game. Half-time score, Argentina 1, Ecuador 0.
99 later up on Friday. Test cricket, England-New Zealand, day 2 on Sky Sports 1, along with Super League, Wakefield against Bradford. On Sky Sports 2, pleasant evenings in store at Haydock and Salisbury. Before Copa America returns, Peru against Bolivia, Paraguay against Japan, both in Group A. Then Sky Sports 3, 2 major golf tournaments, home and abroad, the Murphy's Irish in the afternoon, and the US Tour takes in the Motorola Western in the evening. That's live sport across 3 channels on Friday. This evening, or should I say this morning, it's Copa America and it's Argentina starting off in pretty impressive form. Steve and Chris, they haven't blown Ecuador apart as we expected, but been pretty tight, concise.
Yeah, I think they're well organised. I think they are missing the contingent who normally play in Italy and Spain. You know, the great players are Crespo, Veron, Batistuta, Redondo, Lopez. There's no doubt, you know, if you put them in that team, there'll be something special. There's no doubt about that. But it's given a chance for the players who do play in Argentina, a good chance and to show the manager. Ecuador, to be fair, deserve to be in the lead. I think they're the best team at the minute.
Ecuador have had the better chances overall, haven't they?
You've got to give credit where it's due. You know, everyone thought it's going to be a cricket score, and they've really acquitted themselves very, very well. So, you know, it's not over yet. They've had a couple of decent chances as well. And Graziani looks a decent player, he really does. Very well balanced, great left foot. So he's causing them problems.
Well, a man who does specialise in upsetting international teams in international tournaments is Diego Simeone. He scored the opening goal for Argentina. He's a little man, but he jumps well.
He jumps, but I'd jump as well as that with nobody marking me as well, because it's absolute dire defender. They had a warning before that. Simeone should have scored about, what, 2 or 3 minutes before that, but that's a free header. But again, he's got to hit the target, which he does, and it's a fine goal.
It was kind of a cruel blow, and it did show their immaturity in terms of international football, Ecuador, didn't it? That was one of the few weaknesses they've shown.
It's very sad that they've got so much talent, they've got pace, they're very adventurous, they know how to create, they've had a lot of shots. But when they give goals away like that, it must be pulling the coach's hair out, and you know, it's sad. That's too bad. There could have been 2 of Argentina with 2 set pieces.
We did fear that they may get hammered little like Venezuela did by Brazil last night, but they've shown spirit and they've shown a lot of skill as well, haven't they?
Oh, excellent. I think the guy on the left wing, the 7, Moriero, is a class act for a 20-year-old. Very rarely gives the ball away. Nice change of pace, lovely left foot. And he's linked up very, very well with Graziani up front. They've
had 2 or 3 half chances, Ecuador, one which started well inside their own half. You mentioned Moriero there, who's only 20 years of age. He's the man who any second now picks it up and runs half of the field as they just about defend, and this is where they go and this is where they look good.
Yeah, he's very confident, isn't he? Look, takes it one way, raises the tackle, but what's good about him, he slows himself down, steadies himself, and what a great ball.
That's right, he picked the pass out. He didn't just aimless anywhere. It was a great pass into his feet, and there's that man, Graziani, with a great effort. But it's been a fine goal.
He's looked great, very sharp, Graziani, for a 37-year-old. He looks as if he's looked after himself very, very well.
Not bad at all. Ecuador are doing very well. They're still in with a chance of causing an upset in this very difficult Group C. It's half-time. Argentina with a slender lead over Ecuador. It's only 1-0. Join us for the second half after the break. There's a full day of live sports Saturday here on Sky. On Sky Sports 1 Test Cricket, Day 3 of England against New Zealand. Over on Sky Sports 2, football, under-16s, France against Argentina, the Copa America, and horse racing live from Carlisle and Nottingham. On Sky Sports 3, Australian Rugby League, Speedway, and US Tour Golf. Welcome back to Copa America 99. With me tonight, Chris Waddle and Steve McMahon. It's the liveliest we've seen them this evening, and talking about monkeys. Just before the half-time break, there were many a Premiership scout and manager watching this Graziani thinking he might be useful, Chris, and Sheffield Wednesday have thrown them off the scent. He's not 37.
Well, that's what I've had to say on this film, so everybody doesn't take any notice of him, but he's 28. I'm sorry about that. I've just ruined his career, I think.
I think he's in incredible shape for 30, so just the way I looked at you.
I just thought he needed a haircut, that was it.
37. Oh. God,
anyway, let's get back to our live football. Chris has just ruined Ariel Graziani's career. Let's hope that he can prove him wrong in the second half. It's back over to the little stadium in Luque. It's Argentina against Ecuador. Let's go back to our commentary team of Ray Wilkins and Alan Parry.
And welcome back to Luque, where the officials are all ready for the start of the second half of this match between Argentina and Ecuador in Group C of the Copa America. Ecuador having the misfortune to be in with 2 huge nations in the shape of Argentina and Uruguay, the two countries, in fact, who won this competition in years gone by more than any other. However, Uruguay getting off to a losing start earlier tonight, and in fact also having two players sent off. Ecuador playing Argentina and Uruguay in their first two games, and then the other team in the group, Colombia, is their third match. Ecuador certainly gave their all in that first half, although they looked a little weak, as we mentioned, defensively at times, and certainly a little lightweight in attack. In the middle of the field, they stood their ground, played some neat football, and if they can only find a cutting edge for this second half, maybe Argentina could be in for a surprise or two. But bearing in mind this is their first game, and all the major successful nations around the world, Ray Wilkins, do tend to start slowly and leave themselves gears to move up to. It's been a sort of 6-7 out of 10 performance, would you say, for Argentina so far?
Yes, I would, Alan. I think there's the expectancy level as well. Everybody expects Argentina to thrash Ecuador, but it isn't going to be that way, as we've seen in the first half. I would, in actual fact, as a neutral, love to see Ecuador get an equaliser and see what Argentina are going to do about it. And because I think they have another couple of years to go up. They are a very, very talented unit, but we have seen that Ecuador, when they do put them under a bit of pressure, have had a couple of chances also. So I think we're in for a very interesting second half. Having watched Ecuador, having seen the first game in the group, the Uruguayan didn't look too strong. I think Ecuador could perhaps cause a little bit of a shock when they play them.
Well, the holders Brazil with that fabulous 7-0 thrashing of an admittedly weak Venezuela, already taking the first step towards what would be their third successive final if they go all the way. It's a tremendous record for a country that actually has only won the Copa America 5 times. When you think that Argentina and Uruguay have 14 victories apiece, it's a surprisingly poor record for Brazil.
When you think how many times they've won the World Cup, and compared to winning the South American Championship, it's almost bizarre the amount of times they've won it. But it is only 5 times, and I'm sure they'll be looking to correct that stat.
There has been a suggestion that Brazil haven't particularly taken the competition seriously in years gone by. You couldn't say that of Argentina, and indeed, under their new coach Bielsa, Argentina have made it known that they are giving this almost equal priority to the World Cup. They would dearly love to have had Batistuta, Veron and so on, their European-based stars, in their squad. They've had to accept the decision that tiredness, injuries, have kept them out, and in their absence, an opportunity for some newcomers. The two goalkeepers at either end of the field. Burgos in particular has made one or two strange decisions for Argentina in their goal tonight. Ceballos hasn't actually had too many shots to save, and the one header that did go past him from Simeone, well, as I said at the time, he didn't even have time to blink before the ball hit the back of the net.
I've got to say, Alan, I do find it quite strange that players can actually feel tired for a tournament which is of immense interest within their own country and importance to their own countries, that they can actually say they're too tired to take part. It's a great honour to represent your country, and I'm a little bit baffled by their decisions, I have to say.
Especially when you think that the goal scorer, Simeone, played every single game for his club in Italy throughout the season, played in the World Cup last summer. He's just gone on, and he's made a big contribution to this match already. The referee, as he was at the start, seems a bit reluctant to get things underway. Now, at long last, the whistle blows, and Argentina in the blue and white stripes, remember, get the second half underway, leading Ecuador by 1-0. A further reminder that the top 2 teams in each of the 3 groups qualify automatically for the quarterfinals, and they'll be joined by 2 others who have the best playing records in 3rd place in their groups. Lovely skill on the ball there from Blandon. Challenge coming in. It looks as though Ecuador have slipped on a substitute during the half-time interval. And there he is. Ibarra has taken the caption there. I'm not quite sure about that. We'll just check that out in a moment. He's giving the name of Caviedes, which I'm not sure is right. Ecuador in possession anyway. flicks it on. Through ball from Riquelme. Moving menacingly down the right again, Barros, Schelotto. Well, that was a very dubious challenge, and I think the referee is going to point to the spot as Sorin goes down. The worst possible start to the second half for Ecuador.
That's what we were talking about, Alan, in the first half, defensive qualities. The defender, and I can't just see who that was, he had no idea that Sorin was behind him at all. No awareness of defensive situations. And it's a definite penalty kick, or is it offside?
Well, indeed.
It's an offside decision.
The referee spotting late the linesman's flag.
Good decision also. It was De La Cruz, number 6, who had no idea. There's De La Cruz bringing down Sorin, had no idea that Sorin was there.
Well, the referee quite definitely pointed to the spot initially, and then the Ecuador players drew his attention to the linesman on the far side, whose flag stayed up, quite rightly, of course. And what could have been an early penalty for Argentina turns into a harmless free kick for Ecuador, who attacked dangerously themselves at the other end with Graziani. A little nudge in the back there by Graziani. And Samuel wins the free kick for Argentina.
Yeah, silly play there from Graziani. He's got Samuel in a very, very difficult position. It's tough for him to get out of that area. Having given the free kick away, it's quite pleasant for him, and he does have a wonderful left foot. Samuel is not going to take it. Burgos is going to take it, but it was a close call there for Ecuador at the other end. But I've got to say, I've been very impressed with the officials in this tournament up to now.
Yes, there's been some very sensible refereeing, although the reaction of most of the players, a couple of Uruguayans tonight apart, has been helpful, if you like, towards the officials. There hasn't been too much to question in that respect. Here's Riquelme for Argentina. Fleetingly looking a very, very skillful and promising player, but beaten to it on that occasion by De La Cruz. He continues his run down the right. Got to take the ball in, however. Sorin taking it easily in his stride. But they do not like to be brushed aside, these Ecuadorian players. Montaño going in strong, winning the free kick. They got on with it quickly. Continue to look lively here. Argentina could have a problem if Ecuador were able to get together an equalising goal. Foul there by Graziani.
And that's a substitute Ibarra there that went on that lovely dribble. Tried to play a 1-2 with Graziani, a bit unfortunate not to get it back. The free kick given against Graziani, but Ibarra, who's come on in for Delgado, I think, looks impressive. That was him again with the back heel.
Here's Graziani again, and he's opened up the shot. Well, it was on his favourite left foot. He was some distance out, but he thought for a moment he'd found the area out of the reach of Burgos, but he was wrong.
What a brilliant turn. Fabulous turn on his left side. And that's a good save from Burgos, going down to his left-hand side. I thought he was going to go the other side of Burgos and just whip it around him, but that's good play from both parties.
Ecuador continue to threaten. Here's the substitute, Ibarra. The action that came up at the time was, as we thought, incorrect. It is Ibarra on the field, not Javier. Now, opportunities for Argentina. Well, the shot was from a long way out by Barros Schelotto, but not far off target.
Once again, the Ecuadorian defenders are backing off, and Schelotto there had plenty of time there to go backing off, and he's got a free shot at goal from 20 yards. He must close him down.
It's certainly been one of the livelier matches so far, and very enjoyable here in Luque. Crowd of around 20,000 in a stadium that doesn't hold very much more than that, the smallest of the grounds in use in this competition. Vamos, vamos, Argentina, the famous cry from their supporters as they go forward again here. It's a great dribble, but the shot on the end of it from Lopez not quite so impressive.
Using his strength very well there. Lopez on his left side, favoured left side. Ceballos not troubled with that. Nice goalkeeping, good handling. So he'll be very comfortable with that at the start of the second half. But once again, it's a good tempo, Alan. The game's been played at a good tempo right the way through. Some terrific passing, some short passing, long passing, good movement off the ball.
I mentioned in the first half that Argentina have scored more goals than any other nation in Copa América history. Well, Ecuador, their opponents here, have the unfortunate record of having conceded more goals than any other nation. 269, including the effort in the first half by Simeone, which still separates these teams. Graziani for Ecuador. He has been impressive tonight. He tried to win a free kick there. The referee was having none of it. Ayala for Argentina. Clearance under pressure by Ceballos was a good one. Found the substitute Ibarra. It's a lovely little turn, and it looked like a foul by Montano. Referee's allowed play to go on here. Argentina have got a lot forward in this attack. Riquelme couldn't find a way through. Ecuador defending well in the end.
That was better defending. They closed him down nice and quickly on the edge of the box. 3 or 4 of them round the ball.
Moreira, Ibarra. Graziani went down again, but once more, no free kick. Now there's a lovely ball to spread play, and well placed in the middle is Palermo! It's 2-0 to Argentina!
All about the first touch, this one, Alan. Schelotto, once again, the 2 players there who play for Boca Juniors. It was fabulous football. A great ball in from Schelotto, and Palermo's first touch on his left side was exceptional, and a great finish.
The South American Footballer of the Year, Martin Palermo, doubles the lead for Argentina. 9 minutes into the second half here in Luque.
That's the first time he showed any real quality. I've been quite disappointed in actual fact. When you hear of someone being South American Player of the Year, you expect something a little bit exceptional. Schelotto doing exceptionally well. What a wonderful pass. But look at this first touch. That's what scores the goal, the first touch. It's a fabulous first touch. Sets himself up. It's a great strike. Wallop, in it goes.
Brazil off to a winning start 24 hours ago. It now looks very likely that Argentina will also chalk up the first 3 points of their Copa América campaign. And despite the fact that Ecuador have contributed hugely to this entertaining game, they're headed for defeat now, surely.
He's a lively young man, Alan. Sorry for butting in there. He's a lively young man, this George, down the left-hand side. He's caused havoc all night, and really has been quite impressive.
So he'll take the free kick himself, and Coach Bielsa looking a little more relaxed now at 2-0. It's a strange old kick. No one really expecting that. There's a better ball in, and certainly there was a chance, but I think offside was the decision anyway, as Montano made the header.
What a ball in it was. Montano, I think, was just offside, but it was a fabulous, yeah, he is offside. It was a fabulous ball in. Bit of a threepenny bit head there, as we used to say, from Montano. That's if you can remember a threepenny bit, mate.
Yes, I can. Still got us a few, I think, at home somewhere. Well, it's been, for me, one of the better games of the tournament so far, this. Mainly because Ecuador have contributed so much to it. But Argentina looking good now, all right. Here's Palermo, that's a lovely through ball. And it's the fullback, Sorin, who goes down again. The man who thought he was going to get a penalty in the opening minutes of the half. Now it's getting a bit interesting.
I think had Sorin taken that ball, that would have been a penalty kick, but he lost possession of the ball, and the referee gave the defender the benefit of the doubt. But it was good football again, a good ball from Palermo through, but a great run. There we see him, he lost possession of the ball. I want to say Montano just went for him there. That's looking at the replay, may well have been a penalty kick.
Strange, isn't it? Inside the first 10 minutes, Sorin twice might have earned his team a penalty, and he's nominally in this system the left back, so it shows you how much he's had the opportunity to get forward in the game.
I think it's typical South American fullbacks as well, Alan. They like to be involved in attacking play. You see the Brazilians, they're always forward and they're always defending quite well as well, so I just think it's a South American trait that they have. Once again, that's a silly free kick. Where's he going? He's going nowhere.
A good 10 yards gained as the ball is thrown forward there, as we see again. The second goal for Argentina, tucked away very efficiently by a delighted Martin Palermo.
Lovely little ball, wasn't it, from Schelotto? Beautiful little ball. Voila.
As long as the players are of the right quality, there's an awful lot to be said, isn't there, for a club combination like this who know each other's game inside out.
Yeah, no question. When we did the game the other evening, we were often talking about the fact that centre forwards actually playing on their own as individuals and not as a couple. It's pretty evident that Schelotto and Palermo do know each other's games, and every opportunity that Schelotto gets, his head's up and he's looking for the runs of his big centre forward mate, Palermo.
Schelotto the provider, Palermo the goal scorer. Argentina lead Ecuador by 2-0 here in their opening match for each nation of Group C. Ibarra making a strong run here. He's given an awful lot to do there to De La Cruz, but he still managed to get the cross in, and Graziani collects inside the penalty area, and a chance here for Ibarra. Well, it was a great tackle because he was lined up to put the ball into what was almost an empty net. The goalkeeper didn't seem to be in the best place, but Ibarra challenged it at precisely the right moment here.
What a tackle. I think it was Samuel who makes that tackle, but Ibarra did exceptionally well. He looks a young man, this guy. I've got to say, Giovanni Ibarra. You mustn't get him mixed up with the Ibarra of Argentina. This one's Giovanni playing for Ecuador, and that was fantastic play. A great ball through from Graziani.
Argentina lose possession again in the middle of the field. Here's Graziani, and that's a good ball too, and the shot by Graziani. Well, they are threatened so often in this game, Ecuador, but Argentina have never really been able to relax, even with a 2-0 lead.
No, they haven't, and I've said in the first half I thought Burgos looked a bit flashy, but I've got to say he's made a couple of good stops also. His shot stopping looks of the highest quality. Juba! You see the ball breaking for Graziani there. It was one hell of a challenge coming in from Ibarra there, but he did well to get his shot off, and Burgos making a good stop.
Well, Graziani can be well pleased with his performance here against his fellow countrymen. A goal would really round it off for him now, as Colombia get ready to make a change. Moreira, the player coming off, he had a decent start to the game, but he's faded a little bit in this second half. Aguinaga takes his place. One of the main playmakers in midfield for the Ecuador squad, and a lot of copper experience behind him. Cannavoli, the man he has replaced. Has shown occasional flashes of why he's so highly rated, and here he is in possession again. And wins his team a free kick, and out of the game completed here in Luque.
Palermo, and you get any sort of good ball in there and he's going to be a threat. 3-0, and they do seem to be on a roll at the moment. It's a shame it has to come from another set play. I said in the first half, defensively from these sort of situations, Ecuadorians are very poor, and I think this one is just going to show the fact. There you see, ball coming in, anywhere near him. That was Montano, should have been picking him up. You see the ball knocked out. It's a fair strike, but when you're unopposed 12 yards out of goal, you expect a player of quality to put that in the back of the net. No one anywhere near him. On the volley, wallop in the back of the net. One with his left, one with his right. Will he get the hat-trick? The one with his head.
Well, Argentina are settled now, all right. There have been some anxious moments for them in this game from an Ecuadorian side that has fleetingly in the match played some decent football, but at the key areas of the field they have been found wanting.
The set plays are a major part of any football game, Alan, and if you look from general play, Ecuador have defended actually quite well. But when it comes to free kicks and what have you, they ball watch, and it allows people to get in on their shoulders, and they really have conceded 2 very, very poor goals.
Graziani takes it on again for Ecuador, now 3-0 behind and surely out of it. Now will Argentina suddenly be thinking that they can repeat what Brazil achieved 24 hours ago just to keep a psychological equality with their great opponents? First priority, 3 points, that's for sure.
Yeah, you're dead right there, and I don't think it's a matter that they should actually try and equal what Brazil have done. I think Ecuador are a far better side than Venezuela, what the Brazilians have to play against, but it's still a good performance for any side to come away with a clean sheet and a few goals to your scoreline as well.
Well, Ecuador can feel a bit disappointed that the scoreline perhaps doesn't reflect the contribution that they've made to this game.
No, they've had a number of chances themselves, Alan, haven't they? Got in some good areas in which to have shots at Burgos, but unfortunately haven't been able to convert one.
Still looking for a goal as Graziani chases down Burgos. And there's huge confidence flowing from these Argentina players now. You can sense that they're enjoying themselves. And I fancy that we might not have seen the end of the goal scoring. We have seen another yellow card, however, for that rather crude challenge on Barros Schelotto by Quiñones.
Well, I'd have to agree with that, Alan. Once you get a side like Argentina in full flight, then you've got the opportunity of seeing quite a few goals scored. And when the confidence is as high as it will be at the moment, then I'm sure we haven't seen the end of the goal scoring.
Argentina lead by 3 goals to 0 here. 2 of them scored by Palermo. Well, as I mentioned before, Batistuta first made his name 8 years ago in this competition, ended up leading goal scorer. I wonder if that kind of notoriety is on its way for Palermo.
I've been watching in the first half, and I would have said that he was a good third behind Batistuta and Crespo. I would have to say both players obviously playing in Italian football, and I would still say, having looked at their all-round games, that they're both ahead of him, but he certainly knows when the goal is, when he's given half a chance to have a strike at it.
Burgos taking a risk there, getting away with it. Quiñones plays it forward and really, in a sense, has knocked the stuffing out of Ecuador. I had a bit of belief in the early stages of the second half, but I think it's disappeared now. As Riquelme spreads the ball wide again and goes forward to the return. Cut out, though, before it reached him by Quiñones. Graziani still willing to chase every through ball and not give up on anything. And the goalkeeper really got away with that, Burgos. It wasn't the best clearance. Fortunately for him, it went straight to Ibarra.
He's a game centre forward, Graziani, and he's chased everything. He's really made some good runs up there.
And the cross coming in, and well placed in the middle was Palermo on a hat-trick now. The last player to score a hat-trick in this competition was Iguaran for Colombia against Paraguay, and that was a long time ago now, and it was held in Argentina, ironically, back in 1987, so a little recent record on the way if he can score the third goal here. Palermo once again, Sorin getting forward as well. He was in the box almost alongside Palermo in that last attack, and here he is again. Not a bad cross. Palermo always going to win the header, but directed well off target.
That's better marking. Now, you know, the ball's coming in from Sorin, unopposed on the left-hand side. A good ball in the box. But there we see Montano. He's marking Palermo, and that's what he's got to do. He's got to get tight, not allow him free headers at goal.
Change on the way for Argentina. Lopez about to be replaced by Pietro, who has the prize for the longest and most difficult name to pronounce in the Copa America.
Well done, Alan, I've got to say. What a name that is. Let's hope he doesn't get possession of ball too much.
It's one of those, you've just got to take a run at it from a distance. Pietro. Has looked lively since coming on to join Graziani in the Ecuadorian attack, but there haven't been too many chances coming his way as Ibarra plays it forward for Argentina. 3/4 of the way through the game, they lead by 3 goals to 0. Riquelme in possession. Again the ever-willing Sorin. Barros, Schelotto. Enjoying this now, they're getting a few little tricks from the Argentine players. Good period of possession. Ole ringing around the stadium with every touch of the ball.
Yeah, confidence at a maximum at the moment, Alan, it has to be said. And when teams like the Argentinians are playing with this much confidence, very difficult to get the ball back off them.
This has got to be at least a dozen passes. In the end, Ayala volleys one forward. And it could produce something. It was the ugliest ball of the lot, and it almost produced an opening.
Isn't it amazing? Huh? He played some wonderful football, and then it was the big long John that nearly gave him half a chance.
And suddenly, Burgos called into action at the other end against Caceres, and he did well, really, the goalkeeper.
That's not the first time he swept up behind his defence either, Alan. That was super goalkeeping. I think Graziani was through there. No, Ibarra, sorry. Oh, Burgos with the old fly kick getting it away.
Free kick has gone Ecuador's way. No dispute from Argentina with a 3-0 lead. They're not going to get too excited about that. Just over 20 minutes to go. Burgos calling for 4 players in the defensive wall, and that's what he's got. It seems an enormous distance out, but Caceres is going to have a go anyway, and he wasn't far off the mark. Burgos swallowed the ball, however, ending up in the back of the net.
He's looked impressive, that young man, since he's come on. He's full of confidence, he's got a couple of nice touches, and Caceres is really having a go. He's done very well indeed.
The lead. Argentina looking for more. Sorin. Riquelme taking his time. That was the hallmark of a good player. Wasn't going to be panicked into the early ball. Gives it away in the end, though.
Beautiful skill, though, wasn't it? Showed him the ball and just whipped it away. Terrific ability.
Good strong run by the other substitute here. Aguinaga. His lovely ball. Graziani in with a chance again here. Ball wouldn't sit down quick enough for him, but it doesn't matter anyway. Offside.
He's been impressive, hasn't he, Graziani? He's really had a real go up front. It's been difficult for him because he's playing against some exceptional defenders. Definitely offside, it has to be said. Tries a little flick over the top of the defender, but just can't get the other side.
Born in Argentina, became a naturalised Ecuadorian a couple of years ago. and got a couple of goals in the Copa América tournament of '97. He's actually top scorer for Ecuador in the World Cup qualifiers with 6 goals and got a hat-trick against Uruguay. Unfortunately for him, Ecuador lost 5-3. Riquelme with the through ball, and it's a terrific ball too. Danger here again, and Argentina very close to adding another goal through Zanetti.
Yeah, it's a great run from Zanetti also. He gets himself in the box. It's a good challenge that's put on him in the finish, but it's a nice strike, hitting the target. There is he. Quinones getting back, but Zanetti beating Ceballos. Ball lands up, but unfortunately hitting the crossbar. Good volley.
Played every game in the World Cup finals last summer for Argentina, Zanetti. Ecuador try and get that consolation goal. There can be no more than that, surely, at this stage.
Well, you would think so, Alan, wouldn't you? The Argentinians do appear to have got a firm grip on the game now, and it's going to be very, very tough for Ecuador to do anything from an attacking standpoint.
Can Palermo get his hat-trick? That remains one of the intriguing questions as we move into the final 18 minutes of this match here in Luque. And it certainly has been a great game to watch, and there's danger here of another goal. Well, that's twice now in well, quick succession really, that a gap has appeared down the left-hand side of Ecuador's defence. However, Argentina have not been able to complete it with a goal. The miss here.
Fabulous run off the ball again. He started from the outside, made an out-to-in run, and it was wonderfully picked out, but unfortunately he couldn't put it in the back of the net. Pietro.
Well done. Just completed his first season with the Italian champions Milan. Good play. Argentina certainly not taking their foot off the throttle, I'm delighted to say. They want to keep going here. And Ecuador looking a bit of a spent force now. Is that young man Javier? That's confident for you, isn't it?
My word. Touch of overconfidence there.
Sort of grown into this game in a way, Argentina. They started not apprehensively exactly, but certainly not at full throttle. But they have got better as the game's gone on.
Yeah, I think we have to give Ecuador a bit of credit for that as well, Alan, because they came out on full throttle, Ecuador, and made it very difficult. They kept pressing around the middle of the field, made it very tough for Argentina to get their foot on the ball, and we must give them credit for that. But as the game has worn on, we've seen Argentina grow in stature, and some of the football they're playing now is quite exceptional.
The coach continues to bark out the orders, but he must be reasonably pleased with the way things have gone, and he's going to make another change now. Cristian Gonzalez about to replace Barros Schelotto. Gonzalez, one of the very big Argentine contingent playing in the Spanish league. He's with the Real Zaragoza. Schelotto taking his time. Actually, a little kiss on the cheek there for the substitute, something I hope isn't introduced to the English game.
I'm sure it won't be.
I mean, for instance, you wouldn't want to kiss John Hartson, just to name one. Sorry, John.
I'm not going to name any names. You could have lumbered yourself in it there.
Perhaps I should clarify things by saying I wouldn't want to kiss any of them. Into the final quarter of an hour. Still going strong here. Ecuador. Aguinaga. Whistle's gone. Wouldn't have counted. And the referee seemingly waiting to see if any advantage came Ecuador's way. Landon's shot was blazed well wide, but he's given the free kick anyhow.
And there must have been a late challenge on Aguinaga there from Ayala. not a bad decision, is it? It was an awful shot there coming in from Brandon, but Aguinaldo was definitely fouled after he'd laid the ball off.
That's a good position, and this young man has looked extremely confident so far, Caviedes. Well, he's threatened that from the moment he came on, and now he has delivered a beautiful free kick goal that any South American would have been proud of.
Yeah, fabulous technique, Alan, isn't it? And every side that's playing in these championships will have someone or several players within their side that can actually hit this ball as this young man has just done so, and it's a fabulous technique. There it is, Burgos standing no chance whatsoever. Now, if you're going to be beaten as a goalkeeper, that's the side to be beaten on, the side of your wall. So Burgos has done everything that he can possibly do, but with quality like that, that's very difficult to stop. There we see it. That's a fabulous free kick. Well done, young chappie.
Caviedes bringing it back to 3-1, and Ecuador getting that consolation goal. He's actually, last season, scored more goals, not a hit, Caviedes, than any striker in any professional league anywhere in the world. Would you believe he scored 43 for his club, Ayala. It's earning a move to Italy, to Perugia. And the quality he showed then, the 21-year-old with that free kick, no wonder.
I've got to say, he got himself in early on, and it was only a fantastic tackle from Samuel that actually prevented him from scoring earlier. And given the chance there, that was a wonderful free kick. He does have some quality.
Aguinaldo in a bit of trouble. 12 minutes to go. I don't really think Argentina are in any trouble, but that goal has just lifted the final moments of this game, I'm sure. Argentina were cruising to victory till that point. I don't really think it's going to make a significant difference to the outcome, but you never know.
No, I think Argentina will win this game, and they might even score another couple of goals, Alan. But it is nice to see Ecuador, who I think have deserved a goal. They've shown some nice, lively attacking ideas, and it's nice to see them in with a little bit of a chance now. Corner kick coming in.
Aguinaldo off the field receiving treatment as the corner is floated in high, and Caviedes there again. If they'd had him on from the start, he might have made a difference.
That's the difference, though, Alan. When that ball's played in, there's no one getting free headers from that. The Argentinians are marking correctly. It was a challenge. Probably the ball came off both heads, but that's the way to defend. You have to touch tight and make it very difficult for attacking players to get a free header.
Javier, the Ecuador coach, must know that his side have entertained us here today, but that's of no interest to any coach. All he wanted was a point, maybe 3 in his wildest dreams, but I doubt he's going to get any. And Group C shaping up nicely already, as indeed was Group B, with victory last night for Brazil.
I've got to say, Alan, having seen the quality of the teams in this group, I think we're in for some really humdingers. I've got to say, the first game was a fair old game, and I think this one's been a good game. I've enjoyed this game very much.
Yeah, me too. It's had an awful lot to offer. Great run here from Zanetti. He was stopped in his tracks, though. Time for handball there. Caviedes continues to complain as play goes on. And a chance for another. Well, the opportunity came Riquelme's way, but his shot was a little wide.
It was a little wide. It was a well-worked move. I'm sure we'd have thought that someone with this young man's ability works his way in very, very nicely. But unfortunately, the ball being blazed wide. Caviedes there was having a little row with the referee. Surely he might have been better advised to get after the ball and try and win it back after losing it.
Into the final 10 minutes in Luque. Argentina leading Ecuador by 3-1. Montaño on a strong run forward. Ecuador's throw, and the injured player coming back on, limping back on, Aguinaldo, I have to say. What he didn't want was to get the ball straight away, and that's what happens, of course.
Yeah, his ankle's heavily strapped as well. They made 3 quick substitutions there, Alan, and they may well be carrying a little passenger now.
I don't think he had much choice about going on because there was no one available to bring on in his place. Ibarra. Mentos cross, not bad, but slightly misjudged by Palermo.
Again, in between defenders though, Alan, no one marking him at all. 2 big blokes back there as well for Ecuador, and that was poor defending once again.
Aguinaga. Well, it's not a bad ball. Aguinaga just miscontrolling it at the vital moment.
A level ball, wasn't it? And I think Aguinaga, had he been fully fit, may well have done a little bit better with that one.
Foul surely on Zanetti, and that's the verdict. Zamorana, the guilty man. Zamora, I should say. And the referee's been well in control of things today, the Peruvian Hidalgo.
I think the officials have done very well. I've only done 2 of these games, Alan, and I think in both games they've acquitted themselves very well.
Well, the bookies don't often get things wrong, and in making Brazil favourites and Argentina second favourites, from what we've seen, admittedly, at this early stage of the Copa América, Ray, they seem to have got it just about right again.
Yes, they do. I would have to say that the Brazilians do look pretty exceptional. And it's a shame that we don't have the full contingent of the Argentinians with their European players, because I think that would definitely be a wonderful final if it arises, of course, and we've got a lot of football to play until that day comes. But they don't often get it wrong, and I think they've made a fair old choice this time also.
Offside decision here. Aguinaga. It's not really getting anywhere for Ecuador this, and sure enough, Argentina win it back, but the free kick has gone against them. Now on Caceres, who's straight back in the action again. I would think he's earned himself a place in the starting lineup for the next match. Caceres, he's been very impressive, as indeed was that fine run there by Blandon, which has earned them a corner.
Now they're still well in there, aren't they? They're really having a go. You've got to give it to them. A lot of sides would just have laid down and died after that 3rd goal, but they've given it a real go.
De La Cruz getting a lot of height on the kick. Back to him. Did well to remain onside there. Oh, lost Palermo very cleverly. Oh, what a run by De La Cruz. Unlucky.
It was a good run, wasn't it?
Palermo racing to get forward now. Eyes and thoughts on the hat-trick. Quickly, Pietro plays it long. Zara's running a free kick there, but he's not going to get it. And Pietro continues to complain to the referee. Throw-in is all they'll get, though. Mind you, 3 points is what they will get at the end of it, unless there's an absolute shock turnaround. Now they do belatedly get a free kick. Foul there on Riquelme.
Right up with play again. The referee had a very, very good game indeed.
Into the last 5 minutes of play here in Luque, in Argentina's opening game in Group C. They lead by 3-1. Can Palermo make it 4 and claim the first hat-trick for some 12 years in the Copa América? Riquelme's free kick looked a bit too long and was well read by Ceballos. Ibarra. Graziani's not given up on anything tonight. Riding the tackle. Done more there, Ecuador. As you say, their attitude's been absolutely first rate. Still going forward.
They've had a real go, and I've got to say, normally you see sides like Ecuador who must feel a little bit inferior to the likes of Argentina, just roll over, but not this lot. They've had a real go.
Aguinaga. Now Palermo for Argentina. Not sure about the white boots, but they seem to serve him well then. Sorin. Almost a good ball there. It was well read by Tado. Graziani peels away as he spotted him. Head down. Now he has. But couldn't quite lift the ball over the last defender. Calm play by Zanetti. Now Ibarra. Only a couple of minutes remaining now to confirm Argentina's first 3 points in the competition.
Overall, they've just about deserved it, and it's been a very entertaining game, I've got to say. I've enjoyed it immensely. But it's nice to see Ecuador have a real go, and I think they're going to play a major part in who goes through in this group.
And of course, third place, as long as you've got enough points, can still get you through to the quarterfinals. It's going to be a late yellow card here. Javier has caused all manner of problems since he came on, and it's another of the substitutes that he's forced into that tackle. Gonzalez being cautioned. And here's Javier again. And again. De La Cruz. Still going strong here, De La Cruz, but got a bit too enthusiastic for the challenge then, into the last minute.
I've got to say as well, this guy Sorin, who plays at left fullback for Argentina, as good as he is going forward, he's as poor a defender. He goes to the floor too quickly and he allows people to get by him down. He's on his outside, and I'm sure if he faces better opposition, they could give him a real stern test.
Blandon. Argentina easing their way to victory now, but still looking to get forward with Ibarra. Palermo well placed in the middle. It's a great run. Can Palermo get the hat-trick? Well, if the cross had been better, he might have done. And Ibarra, I think, is claiming he was brought down there.
Yeah, we talk about fitness levels. That was fantastic from Ibarra. He's had a good game, Ibarra, at right full-back, and that was one hell of a run that he found himself on there.
Aguinaga, that's the free kick. So the half began and then ends with Argentina claiming a penalty and not getting it. Samuel has been yellow carded apparently as well. Well, this is going to be a very brief appearance for Cagna. And he replaces Riquelme in stoppage time. This is right in the territory where he will fancy another crack at goal, I would think, here.
I think the referee got this one wrong, Alan. I've got to say, I thought Ayala made a very good challenge on the young man there, and here we see him. I'm sure we're going to see him get the ball. Well, perhaps we didn't see him get the ball, and maybe the referee's proved me wrong there. Dangerous position, it has to be said, because this young man does have a great technique, Javier, and be interesting to see if he can hit the target. It's a big ball, it's got to be said.
Well, he lifted the first brilliantly over the wall. I'd be surprised if he doesn't have a go at the second. No, he's set it up for a teammate instead. Perhaps he would have been better having a go himself, and the deflection is taken after a corner from the shot by Brandon.
I think he realised that the wall was extremely tall there, Alan, and he would have had to have gone around the outside of the wall, and they opted to go on the inside, but not the best free kick we've seen.
Almost 2 minutes of stoppage time completed. Strange little corner kick. Now it's lifted high. Sorin's clearance. And that's the final kick of the game. And Argentina, as expected and deservedly, have started their Copa América campaign with an impressive victory and 3 important points to get them off to a winning start. Simeone scoring the first, Palermo adding 2 after half-time. Ecuador played well, and their impressive substitute, Javier, with an excellent free kick, got them a consolation goal. The final score here in Luque, Argentina 3, Ecuador 1.
Thank you, Alan. So an excellent start for Argentina in a very good placing to get towards the final. They've been seeded that way so they can meet Brazil in the final if all goes according to plan. I think tonight, given the inexperience in the Argentina team, it was a good performance, a good result for them.
Well, I think the difference between the sides, I think Ecuador technically are as good, if not better at times than Argentina, but they're very efficient, Argentina. In front of goal, that's where the difference is. They take the chances when they create them. And Ecuador, Venezuela, all lovely sides technically, but don't score goals.
And defensively, they were very poor as well. The 2 teams that we've seen tonight. You know, you can't afford to give anybody space in the 6-yard box. You just cannot do it.
Is it my imagination, or is it faster than South American teams normally play this tournament? They're a bit more laid back and laboured, aren't they?
Yeah, well, certainly Colombia were a lot quicker. The tempo was high. Colombia definitely tonight upped their tempo and played a different style. And so of most of the teams in the tournament that we've seen.
I think they're all starting very quickly, especially the minnows, you know, the ones who don't expect to get results. They are starting very quick.
Well, this is how Argentina started off, only 13 minutes gone, and our old friend Diego Simeone rose head and shoulders above the non-existent defenders.
He won't get an easier goal, will he? He won't. But he's had to do it. He's had to put the ball in the net, but he won't get it any easier.
And Ecuador, little known side, but they had their moments, and they forced a couple of excellent saves from the Argentinian goalkeeper, Burgos.
Certainly improvised well, didn't he, the goalkeeper?
That's the difference, though, in front of goal. Argentinians would stick that away. The rebound.
This is the number 9 who we thought was excellent in the first half, Graziani.
Well, for 37,
everybody else often said by saying he was 37, he's still 28 if you want to buy.
He's never the same player after I said that.
See, that was a great opportunity. His first touch is awful, let him down, otherwise it's the top end.
That was the penalty hope that Argentina had, which turned out to be
a good decision. Good decision by the linesman.
There were lots of opportunities for Ecuador to get back into the game, and they played with such spirit, didn't they?
Look at it by the 37-year-old
He could well be at Sheffield Wednesday next year as Chris threw everybody off the scent.
But they had great little touches, didn't they, Ecuador? I mean, little flicks and little nutmegs, and technically they were superb. But again, he was disappointing tonight, but yet he scored 2 goals.
Well, this was his first goal in senior international football. Martin Palermo. Many a European manager have been watching him.
That was very sloppy defending against better opposition. Then they could be punished there.
And as we look at it, they did have their chances, but as you said before, clinical in front of goal.
Good technique.
Oh, you cannot fault him in front of goal. You can see why he's been top scorer. He's had 2 chances tonight, and he's put them both away. But I think his general all-round play, I wouldn't say he was the South American you imagine. When you say player of the year, you'd expect someone like Maradona, and you know, he's not that type of player.
No, but they won't be complaining if he sticks to in every game he plays.
Yeah, that's right.
Then that's not bad.
And Javier scored the consolation goal Good young player. The best free kick we've seen.
Well, he was the top scorer in the world, wasn't he, last year, with so many goals in
43 goals.
You notice the technique there. It's almost not hit the net. It's almost bounced before it's so it's had to get up and down that quick. That it's unstoppable.
That's what we're hoping to see more of, really, wasn't it? These kind of banana kicks and everything.
Well, everybody's been trying to put a bit too much power and a bit too much bend on it, whatever. That was like a pass. He just thought, well, there's me mate.
It's only early days. It's only early days, and I think the results are more important at this stage. I think, and they're just feeling their way into the competition.
And for Argentina, they were missing Batistuta, Crespo, Claudia, Lopez, Redondo. They're foreign-based players, as they like to call them. But some of the young players that came through did justify their selection tonight.
Yeah, especially the Boca Junior boys. The right winger was very exciting. And the lad in 22 midfield, he came into the game, especially. Yeah, he came into the game second half very well. So they've done themselves no harm. But I think if they were to beat Brazil, they need for the lads who were playing in Europe to go.
Yeah, the big guns need to come back.
Yeah,
I
they
think
need to come back.
Yeah, if they to go and actually win the competition, then they need the big guns firing. Otherwise, Brazil look real hot favourites.
Well, last night it was about Ronaldo and Ronaldinho. Tonight it was about Palermo, should I say. We're still getting used to his name. They're trying to mark him. And Chris, you're still not convinced by him, despite his headline-grabbing goals tonight.
Steve just said if he scores 2 goals every international game he plays, they're going to say, you know, that's what they want from him. That's probably what he is.
He's more Christian Vieira than Ronaldo, isn't he?
You haven't really seen him take part in any build-up play tonight. Well, such a big guy, you know, even in the air, you never really saw him win any headers. Full credit to where he stuck his 2 goals, and you can't fault that at all. You know, he's obviously no goal scorer.
And he missed a great opportunity early on as well, within the first 5 minutes, where I thought he should have hit the target at least. He slid in on the back post and put it over the bar.
I think it's maybe something about those white boots that make him look so ungainly. They're like size 12. It looks like a basketball player with clodhopper feet.
Yeah, he doesn't look technically brilliant, does he?
Until he hit that.
But that was, again, that's textbook stuff. It's a great strike. Yeah, pick that one out. You can't beat that. Great goal. But again, diabolical marking.
Can we even compare them to Brazil with their 7 goals last night?
I think Ecuador are far better than Venezuela, there's no doubt about that. I don't think Brazil would beat Ecuador 7. You never know, but I couldn't say that. But Argentina will be there, there's no doubt about that. And it depends on the day. I think that could be a final, there's no doubt about that. But you don't know until, you know, the night of the game. And
Colombia were very impressive. So they could come with a run, because they were impressive. They just lacked a little bit of belief. I think that's all. But 3 points for them, good start, and who knows, it's going to warm up anyway, that's for sure.
Well, it is the most difficult group to get out of, Group C, with Uruguay and Argentina. And Colombia have had an excellent start, so this is how it stands now. Argentina top of the table because they scored the 3 goals. Colombia earlier in the day beat Uruguay 1-0. Banir with the single goal. Uruguay, well, lived up to their reputation of long time ago, had 2 players sent off, Lopez and Magalana. So final thoughts? It wasn't too bad tonight, was it? There were goals.
No, I think so far the tournament's been very good, starting with Peru. I think they're in that team you've got to watch, but Mexico are very dangerous. Chile have got a lot more to show. But overall, so far, for all being the first games, I think the teams have done very well.
Steve, your final thoughts from what you've seen?
I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm probably happy with the tempo that they've set, because we were expecting it to be okay, 50, 60 passes and then fizzle out at the end of it. But they've been a bit more straightforward, and we've enjoyed it. I have especially. I've been pleasantly surprised, I must admit.
Steve, Chris, thanks very much for joining us. Chris mentioned there that Peru are one of the teams that have been doing well. They're playing on Friday evening, midnight, Sky Sports 2, Peru against Bolivia. And shortly after that, the host nation, Paraguay, will be playing against Japan. That's in Group A. But in Group C tonight, a star may have been christened, never mind born. Martin Palermo is heading to Europe. Well, he's led a very convincing display by Argentina against a spirited Ecuador. Good night.
first half or two, because it's Peru came out the traps very quick. First 15 minutes just dictated the game, and we thought this is going to be embarrassing. They eased up a bit, got 2-0 up. Mexico's took the game back at them, good tempo.
Then we had wave after wave of Mexican attack.
It's very good.
Mexican wave.
It's very good for you on that.
That's quite good though.
Right, I think it's time to go back to the professionals in Asuncion, the capital. Clive Allen and Alan Parry are watching a cracker of a game. Just the 5 goals in the first half. Most of the goals in the competition so far have come in the dying minutes. It could yet go down to penalties. There'll be no extra time. Let's go back to Clive and Alan.
Well, we're all looking forward to this second half here in Asuncion after that dramatic first 45 minutes in which Peru scored 2 goals in the opening quarter of an hour. Mexico hitting back with 2 goals in the space of 4 minutes, both of them scored by Hernandez. And then, of course, the Newcastle player Solano restoring Peru's lead just before half-time, 4 minutes, in fact, from the interval. The Brazilian referee just checking the numbers out there, Wilson Souza, and remember, it'll be his homeland or Argentina who will play the winners of this match in the semi-final. Big incentive, if you need one, at this stage of this major tournament. Peru, all in white, leading by 3 goals to 2, will get the second half underway. They came through Group A as runners-up, Mexico through Group B as runners-up. And the referee just delaying the start of things here. Clive, I think we both admit we got it wrong in terms of the number of goals we saw in that first half. We're expecting it to be tighter defensively than that. So what on earth can we expect from the second half?
I've absolutely no idea. I think that if I was in charge of Mexico, I think you'd have to change it defensively. They've played with the extra defender in there. I would imagine that they could revert back to the way they've played in the previous games with a flat back 4, push that extra man into midfield and try to get a bit more pressure on the ball further up the field, because they've got to get back in this game.
So after a false start, we are now underway. And Mexico on the defensive, as they were in that incredible opening quarter of an hour. And they really did look all over the place and looked disinterested after they'd gone 2 goals down. But they certainly changed their attitude and their play after that. Looks like a bit of an elbow there. Whether the referee decides that's deliberate or not is up to him, of course. Io certainly has decided, I think, that retribution is deserved here. The opposite number 8, Garcia Aspe, the player who challenged him, and Io not looking too pleased with things. He has got a free kick, but this remarkably lenient referee, who's yet to produce a yellow card in this game, has kept the card in his pocket again. Shadow covering that end of the pitch now. The stadium rapidly filling, almost full in fact now, ahead of the next match, of course, between the hosts Paraguay and Uruguay, the next of the 4 quarterfinals, on stage in this stadium. The other 2 take place tomorrow in different venues. Peru squeezing up to the halfway line, but Mexico give the ball away. Peru have made 1 change, remember, during the first half, an enforced change with their striker Holson replaced by Zuniga. Mexico now have got the same 11 who started the game. Garcia Aspe for them, working it out again to the left. They've knocked the ball out of play to allow treatment to the injured player here. Seems to be a bit of a clash of heads, perhaps, involving Ramirez. Well, nothing to do with his head, but he's shaking that in dismay anyway. And the always extravagantly dressed Campos has, strangely enough, had little to do other than fish the ball out the back of his net on 3 occasions now. Almost saved one of the Peruvian goals, but given little hope with the others. And Peru coming forward again, Soto keeping it in play on that right-hand side. Useful cross, and the header by the tall Maestri just over.
Well, we wondered if Mexico were going to change. It certainly doesn't look evident on the first few minutes of this second half, and the cross comes in, and Maestri again has an opportunity. Really, he's not very well challenged in the heart of that Mexico defence, and he'll be disappointed not to get that header on target.
Maestri, first choice striker for Peru for several years now, a player who's played his club football in both Spain and Portugal, though he's now back home in Peru. And Mexico take control of things again. Much more cultured, thoughtful build-up than they displayed in the early minutes. Now they switch it again to the long ball, and that's what went wrong.
And that hasn't worked for them. Certainly the front players have been starved of any decent service, apart from when they've kept controlled possession and worked the ball forward and opened them up.
Looks like they're about to bring on Daniel Osorno, a left-sided player who scored a very good headed goal in the 3-1 victory against Venezuela. And he's ready to come on now. And the man he replaces, Garcia Aspe, who was involved in those couple of jarring collisions in the opening minutes of the half. And the captain's armband has had to be handed on as well. Osorno knows who's going to take it. And Mexico concede a free kick. So a little bit of rearranging for them. Garcia Aspe, a central midfield player. Osorno prefers to play out wide.
I think that's a positive move by Mexico, and as we said, they've got to take the game to Peru, and that's the first change that you would expect from a coach trying to get his team back in the game.
A rather untidy looking Mexican defence again there, but they've survived this time. A reminder, we're now at the knockout stage of the Copa América. Sudden death from here on in, and the rules of the competition say that if teams are level at the end of 90 minutes, you will go straight to a penalty shootout. There will be no extra time. Long ball forward by Robosio.
The second half started a little bit scrappy, and I think that's because Peru fortunately went in at half-time in front. Mexico are now probably going to take a few more chances, and Peru are just really trying to frustrate them. They're going to get behind the ball in numbers. They have this lead to defend.
Reminder that Mexico have had 2 players banned for positive drug tests, Lara and Chavez, though they issued a statement today saying that the players are perfectly innocent, and they believe there's an innocent explanation as to why those banned substances were found in those tests. But nonetheless, the ban remains in force, and indeed the South American Federation have said that they could extend those bans if they are convinced that further punishment is necessary. Peru lead 3-2. 6 minutes of the second half completed. A rather stop-start opening to this second period. Well, a little deflection there, but again rather sloppy defending, and Solano on the ball again. The shot, I think, struck his own player Maestri on the heel there. Solano, a naturally 2-footed player, equally effective whichever side he goes. Valencia trying to switch play here for Mexico. Hernandez with a neat layoff. He rarely wastes a ball, Hernandez. Outstanding player. Suarez helping it on. Marquez further forward. And it's all fizzled out disappointingly. Mexico in the first phase, remember, beat Chile, lost to Brazil in their second game, then comfortably disposed of Venezuela by 3-1 to qualify for the last 8. Ramirez for them has given it away. And Zuniga loses out. Good covering there by Marquez, Rafael Marquez, who plays for Atlas in the Mexican League. They were runners-up in their championship last season.
It's amazing, isn't it? Considering the scoreline we had, it's a remarkably quiet stadium. You can hear a few wolf whistles, the crowd are in. to support the home nation who follow in the second of these quarterfinals here tonight. I think that shows the type of game that it is at the start of the second half.
The referee rather surprisingly giving a free kick against Hernandez then, when it looked as though he might have been sinned against. Yes, it's a game that certainly deserves a better atmosphere than this. The stadium obviously packed chiefly with Paraguayans awaiting the appearance of their team next against Uruguay, as Maestri goes forward for Peru again here. They lead 3-2. Clever ball by Ayo. And a really good-looking attack here. There could be another goal on the end of it, and the goalkeeper got away with it then. He made a horrendous error and was very fortunate that Peru had no one moving in.
What a great opportunity. Unfortunately, the cross was poor, and the defender and goalkeeper got totally mixed up, and Campos was very, very lucky that it ends up in front of him, gave him the chance to dive on it. But good controlled possession, and really the Peruvians opened the Mexican defence up again. And you've got to say that the alarm bells must be ringing in the Mexican dugout every time Peru attack. They seem to be able to open Mexico up so easily.
Well, you get the impression that we haven't seen the end of the scoring in this game by any means. Foul on the striker Palencia. Mexico back in possession. And a yellow card has been issued for that challenge to Pareda, who becomes the first player cautioned in this game. Neat build-up play again by Mexico, who get a free kick. And another yellow card, this time to Palacios. It's his second caution of the tournament as well. The disciplinary rules a little unclear, but we believe that yellow cards from the first phase have been wiped out for the second phase. Palacios will certainly be hoping that's the case anyway. So the referee, having been quite lenient in the first half, has now produced 2 yellows in quick succession. We've had 12 reds, remember, just one short of the number for the whole tournament in Bolivia 2 years ago. And by the way, we've now had 50 goals, and that's more than at the corresponding stage of the last tournament. And another yellow card.
I think he found his yellow card at half-time in his kit bag, because some of the challenges in the first half warranted yellows, considering we see a challenge like that, and the referee pulls a yellow card out.
Torrado, the third player in quick succession, and the shot there by the substitute Zuniga, testing Campos. And for once, Hernandez's control let him down. That's not happened too much. Solano spreads play for Peru. In a dilemma, I guess. Do they hold on to their lead or go seeking another goal? Soto with a long ball forward, the way Mexico have defended. I would think they'd be on the lookout for more, wouldn't they?
I think they've got to go forward. They've got to take the game to Mexico, because they do look so vulnerable defensively. And as they say, the best form of defence is attack.
And with Oblitas, a great player in his own days, a legendary former international from the 70s in charge. He'll want to see that from his team. But principally, he'll want to see victory and a place in the semi-finals for Peru, who made the same stage 2 years ago. The low-key atmosphere here is misleading, because this has been an excellent game in all respects. Peru come forward again. Solano trying to tempt the defender and gets a corner. Him off Zapata.
Good run by Solano, and he's complaining because I think when he gets it on his left foot, he's looking to try and whip it into the near post. There's actually no one there. He then had to try and take on the defender. Did well to win the corner.
He's played surprisingly deep. Easy clearance for Palencia. Who now concedes the throw. And again, Valencia involved in winning it back for his team, but they're still not out of the woods. And Garcia and Zuniga combining. The cross comes into Maestri. Headed clearance by Marquez. Peru still threatening, but not with that shot. They only threatened the man in Rosette.
They do look to be in disarray, Mexico. Every time Peru get it into the danger area, they don't seem to be able to clear their lines. They're unorganised defensively. Real problems for them. Got to say, to Peru's credit, they came here with no sort of world superstars within their squad, but they are a compact team. They certainly work very, very hard for one another. Technically, they're very sound, and they're in with a chance of making a semi-final berth.
Ramirez caught in possession for Mexico. What can Peru do now they've won the ball back? That's almost a decent ball. This time Marquez read it. A layoff by Zuniga, a little sloppy. Just looking at the bookmakers' odds, incidentally, before a ball was kicked in the tournament, Peru were rated at 25-1, Mexico 10-1. So anyone who bet on Peru has had a good run for their money so far. The favourites, of course, were and still are the holders, Brazil, who are 6-5. Argentina next at 9-4. Well, one of them's got to go. They clash head-on in the semi-final tomorrow. Quarter-final, I should say, for a place in the semi against the winners of this game. Maestri finding a bit of room, getting away from Sanchez, but of all the defenders, Marquez seems to be the most accomplished on this particular occasion for Mexico. Carmona gives it back to him. And Mexico have gone into their shells a little bit in the opening quarter of an hour of the half. They conceded 2 goals, of course, in the corresponding period in the first half. Now Palencia taking them forward menacingly. Headed away by Reynoso, but the danger hasn't gone yet. And a good return ball. Ramirez well placed in the middle, and so too beyond him was Hernandez. And as that cross, at least I think it was a cross, was fizzed over, either of them could have made telling contact.
Well, it was great interplay on the edge of the box, and Osona, I think, goes for the far corner. He shapes for the volley, does struck it well, and it is probably just a yard in front of Hernandez. Yeah, he threw himself at it, but there was no way he was going to make contact. But again, Mexico show that they possess quality and they can open defences up.
Ramirez for Mexico, still a goal behind here, an hour of the game completed. Another interception by Marquez. And for once they get a defender into a forward position, and look what happened. Given away. Solano back in possession for Peru. A good ball, and he continues his run down the right and will want a return ball here. Palacios might have other ideas. No. Oh, well, it was unlucky. It was a good interception. Ramirez for Mexico. Back to Osorno. Now Palencia. Ramirez again.
It's definitely a case of with them losing Lara and Chalve in the middle of midfield, Mexico, that I think has upset them the most, because they haven't played through that midfield area. They've found it very difficult to work it through there.
Foul there by Maestri. Free kick to Mexico.
Good old-fashioned centre-forward challenge, that one.
Hernandez getting forward. Good defending. And a free kick for Peru. It was a long way to come for Reynoso. He intercepted the ball on the edge of his own penalty area.
He did well because he had 3 players around him, and in the end he just drew the free kick, literally got sandwiched there, and he's done well to just relieve the pressure a little bit for Peru.
Pumped forward again in the general direction of Maestri. Now this looks promising again as they back away, and Zuniga had a chance then. It was almost slow motion there as Ayo played the ball through to him. Everyone stopped, and Zuniga, who might have been suspecting an offside, suddenly realised that he wasn't, and by then I think the opportunity had really gone. Foul, or rather injury here for Marquez. Not that one by the looks of it.
It was a fantastic tackle, but he really did take a nasty whack in making that challenge. He had to throw himself into the challenge.
He's only 20, this centre-back, and as I mentioned before, he probably has been the best of Mexico's defenders. If you want to be harsh, you could say that's not saying a lot, the way they have defended today, but he's made some telling interceptions.
He had to be brave and he had to be on hand there, because it was another opportunity created for Peru.
Well, he's in some pain quite clearly.
Looked like he took a whack across the shin, and I would imagine that he's along with that twisted his knee. But then we have been deceived before now, Alan.
Coach Lapuente with a difficult decision to make, perhaps. Remarkable recovery there, wasn't it? Whatever medicine he's on, he could make a fortune from. The moment the stretcher reached the touchline, the magic wand was waved. Perhaps we'd better not talk about medicines in view of the fact 2 of their players have been suspended from the tournament for apparent drug abuse.
Found in the meat they've been eating, I believe.
No comment. 25 minutes to go here in Asuncion, and Peru are going to make a further change themselves. Marco Thioliza, a 21-year-old midfield player, the youngest player in their squad at the last Copa America. Although he didn't play there, he's made a couple of brief appearances as substitutes in this tournament. And Zuniga
sub in a sub.
I know, and he's really got a page of strange facts surrounding him in this tournament. Remember, he was the guy who came on as a substitute, scored against Bolivia, then got sent off. He's come on here very early on to replace the injured Holson. Now he's been taken off. What did you do in the war, Daddy? He's got some stories to tell his grandchildren, hasn't he? Maestri. Ayo. Soto. Peru intent and content on keeping possession. Crunching challenge going in there on Solano, but he's back on his feet. And Mexico are back in possession, not for long though. Very good defending there by Reynoso. He's a real calm character at the back. Soto with the high ball, Maestri beaten to it. Game opening up a little bit now.
Game definitely quickening up, and I think that's because Mexico realise they're running out of time.
Valencia taking on Peru almost single-handed and not getting anywhere. Ayo for Peru. This is Soto. Confirmation of the substitution. Thioliza for Zuniga. And the game very delicately balanced now at 3-2 for Peru. A further reminder, we'll only have 90 minutes of football should the teams be level. It'll be a straightforward penalty shootout to decide the first of the Copa America semi-finalists. Ramirez and the miraculously recovered Marquez.
certainly wasn't a twisted knee, was it?
Long ball by Sanchez. Flicked on to Hernandez. Good defending again from Reynoso, but now Palencia couldn't control it. Well, this is where Mexico want to be, keeping the ball in Peru's half. Marquez again. And with the brilliance of the excellent Hernandez, there's always a threat to Peru when Mexico are on the attack like this. Good ball forward by Marquez. Ramirez with the cross.
He does possess a fine left foot, and you can see it every time he gets in possession. Hernandez is looking to make those little quick angled runs to get on the end of the crosses. On that occasion he just overhit it by about a yard, but again Hernandez found himself in space in that 6-yard box had he been picked out.
And the substitute knocked aside there. Sorry, not Fiolita, that's Zapeda. And there is going to be another substitution. Garcia is going to come on for Mexico. Rafael Garcia, a midfield player.
And they're taking the defender off. That is not a surprise.
He goes forward for Mexico's free kick. It's a long way out, but with the left foot of Ramirez, anything possible. Bit optimistic, and the wall easily blocked it. Played back in by Marquez and then offside. Crowd didn't like that.
Well, the linesman didn't give it, that's why. The referee's actually given the offside. The linesman never put his flag up.
It looks like the referee was spot on.
Complaints from the Mexicans was to say exactly that. Linesman hasn't put his flag up, and the referee said I made the decision, and he was quite right.
So 20 minutes remaining here. Can Mexico just find that extra gear, or will Peru get another goal, maybe to clinch it? Zapeda with a long ball, easily cut out again by Soto, but Mexico keep coming forward with Hernandez. Well, that was a deliberate block for me. Not given though. Mexico looking a bit sharper now in that middle third of the field, winning the ball back frequently. Zapeda for them.
They have pushed an extra player in there now. Garcia's come in, and they've taken the chance to jettison a defender, and hopefully we're going to be in for some fireworks towards the end of this game.
But if they give the ball away that carelessly, they could be punished. They're certainly stretched here. Palacios leads the run forward, and he's got Maestri up alongside him and picks him out. Offside though, it won't count. And the moment the ball flapped the back of the net, the linesman's flag was already up.
Well, another great run from Palacios, and when he comes inside, Maestri, good defending, he steps up just a yard, and Maestri just caught that fraction offside. Good defending again from Marquez.
Well, I suspect we're going to see a few more incidents like that now in the close of this game. Mexico have got to start taking risks and possibly leave themselves open like that as Garcia finds Palencia. One of the substitutes back in possession again. Garcia only came on a few moments ago. Ramirez winning it back. Now Marquez playing it forward. Poor control though, Peru off the hook for the moment. And with the talent on the counter-attack to cause Mexico a headache here. Good running by Maestri, lost the defender beautifully. Oh, and a few tricks as well from the big man. Bit of frustration there, I thought, from the defender, and he is disgusted he hasn't got a free kick for that. That'll teach you to take the mickey, I think was the message there. Good ball again from the excellent Ramirez, who's had a fine game. Palencia for Mexico. Suarez coming forward. Now Ramirez again. They seem to have extra men all over the place now. Carmona's cross, not the best, but they are kept in this half. They've got to throw in. Soto's clearance.
Definitely Mexico are getting more pressure on further up the field. The Peruvians are sinking deeper and deeper.
Well, it wasn't a bad effort. It was swinging wide all the time, you'd have to say, from Tirado.
The way it's set up, it was certainly worth a strike, and you know, he'll be disappointed not to have got it on target. Hernandez possibly offside.
So the first semi-final place still in the balance here in Asuncion. Will it be Peru or Mexico who go forward to a place in the last four and a meeting with Brazil or Argentina? And don't forget, immediately after this game, the hosts Paraguay take on Uruguay in the second quarter-final. Here's Solano, scored one spectacular goal from this sort of position, not allowed to this time. However, he might fancy the free kick that has resulted from that challenge on him.
It certainly is a perfect position for him, and he's grabbed the ball. He was body checked. Referee was right on hand to give the free kick. And he's now going to drag the Mexican wall back, certainly within range for Solano.
Solano sizes up the angles and the options, but got them wrong.
That's unusual from him, because he normally hits a target from that sort of range. It's on his favoured side. This time leaning back and never ever going to trouble Campos.
So a couple of anxious moments have passed without any further setbacks for Mexico. That ball in the net from Maestri ruled offside, and Solano's free kick well off target. So can they come forward and get a goal themselves? Zepeda's cross knocked behind for a Mexican corner. Not sure how much he knew about the header. A wicked ball into the near post. Hernandez, though, couldn't flick it on. Over his head, and a chance here. And Palencia's header saved from close range by Ibanez. That really was a great opportunity.
Well, it was a quality ball in. Wonderfully whipped in cross, and from that range, he has to hit the target. It's a good stop, but that was a glorious opportunity for Palencia to get Mexico level. Wonderful cross, anywhere but there, and Mexico would have been level.
And somehow you feel that if that opportunity had fallen to Luis Hernandez, Mexico might have been level. Into the final 15 minutes in Asuncion. Both these teams made the semi-final 2 years ago in Bolivia. Only one can do so this time, of course. At the moment, Peru have the lead, but Mexico came close to wiping it out then. Confirmation of Peru's lead. Pumped back in again towards Hernandez.
Does make some fantastic runs. From balls that are hit directly upfield, balls on the angle, crosses coming into the box, always on the move, always looking to take up dangerous positions, making himself available. Outstanding player.
Solano again for Peru. Well, Mexico haven't been slow to complain about things, as we mentioned in the first half in this tournament. No doubt if they go out here, they will point to the extremely harsh dismissal of Blanco and to the 2 suspensions for positive drug tests, which Mexico are claiming were completely innocent. And obviously the loss of 3 players of the calibre of those 3 has cost them dearly on the day.
Well, definitely Blanco, because him alongside Hernandez, I think one of the best partnerships in this competition. And had he been in this side tonight, obviously the last opportunity that was created, he might well have been on the end of that, and you could see him taking an opportunity like that.
Still time for Mexico to draw level here. Garcia's layoff. Ramirez again. Then helped on by Suarez to Carmona. And that's a free kick. Foul by Solano on Carmona, who's switched from left to right back now, and it's going to be a yellow card for the Newcastle United player for that challenge. And probably deserved. Now, problem here as Maestri breaks clear. Mexico's last defender beaten to it, but Maestri's control let him down.
Well, he did so well to get a header to it, knock it away from the defender, but then it's the final touch really that would have set him up with a great chance to win this match for Peru. Let him down.
With 12 minutes to go, how crucial could that miss be? Peru ready to make a further change now, and the forward player Claudio Pizarro is going to come on, and Maestri, who might well have scored what surely would have been the clinching goal seconds ago, will play no further part in the match now, replaced by the man who normally plays alongside him in attack, Claudio Pizarro.
I think he knows he's just had the opportunity to wrap it up for Peru. He's worked hard, he's put himself about, and he's caused the Mexican defence problems all evening.
Well, there are defining moments in all games when you think 3 times now in the space of, what, 15 minutes, Peru might have had the 4th goal to kill off Mexico, probably, for good. And 3 times they failed to get it. Will they pay for that? And they might here. Oh, good save. I think it was Garcia coming in on the far post. He had a wonderful opportunity, and the goalkeeper threw himself at his feet as Ramirez pumps it back in again. It's missed Hernandez. Clumsy defending. Hernandez gets a header to it, and finally Peru, thanks to Solano, clear the danger at the expense of a corner.
Well, real panic in the Peruvian defence. Quality cross coming in, and it was an opportunity at the far post, but Ibanez really threw himself at it. A great block. I don't think he knew too much about it, but he got in a position to block the shot and keep his side in the lead.
And Mexico get that equalising goal that some of the play, you'd have to say, in this second half has merited. They've been the stronger of the 2 sides in this second period. Referee's going to have to keep an eye on what's going on there. A lot of jostling as the free kick corner is whipped in. Zepeda forced wide. Mexico's throw. Sloppy defending by Peru. They're lucky to get away with that. Mexico got so many players forward now, though anything can happen. And again, Ibanez to the rescue.
Well, he's been called upon. This is the opportunity, and as we see, totally committed. Makes a big screen. That's excellent goalkeeping. So you can see from this angle, very, very difficult to get it past him. Ends up saving it with his legs, but that is excellent stop from the goalkeeper.
Osorno, the player who had another opportunity there to bring Mexico level. So both teams have missed chances in this second half. Usually the way, of course, when you get that many goals in the first half, that there's a scarcity of them in the second, but we could have easily doubled the total at half-time.
Well, there's been the chances, hasn't there? They just haven't been taken in this second half.
Suarez battling out from the back. Ramirez, quite possibly the man of the match for Mexico, wins the throw for his team. The clock ticks on, though. Only 8 minutes remaining now. Peru looking at the possibility of a place in the semi-finals for the 2nd Copa America in succession.
The atmosphere is building nicely as well for, I think, a very interesting finish to this game.
Osorno, Marquez, Suarez. Everyone deserting their defensive post now, including Carmona. And that's a free kick. They could regret that rash challenge, Peru.
They're being forced into these challenges now because Mexico are far more direct. They're taking more chances. The Peruvians are certainly having to make challenges, and the Mexicans are drawing free kicks from them. You just wonder if they're going to make one of these count.
Ramirez will take it, and that means danger, because his set pieces have been excellent so far. And there's another good one. Oh, that should have been the equalising goal, right on top of the goalkeeper, who made a reaction save from the defender Suarez, but really that should have been 3-3, Clive.
Well, it's an excellent free kick. What a wonderful ball again, curling in towards the goal. Very difficult to defend, and again anywhere but there. Two headers, two opportunities for Mexico.
And another chance almost coming their way at the far post. Garcia forcing his way forward. All hands on deck for Peru now. Mexico really turning on the heat here. And they've survived momentarily again, Peru. Ramirez knocks it back in. And no offside, yes, it was a late flag. It was a late flag indeed from the gentleman who didn't even produce one a little earlier, but he finally decided that Zapata was offside.
Well, I think it was Hernandez who was offside, but whether he's actually interfering, as we see, Zapata as well, and whether the linesman's deemed that Hernandez is interfering or it's actually Zapata who picks up on the diagonal ball back into the box. Good decision from the linesman, but the pressure really is on Peru. As I was saying, two-headed opportunities that Mexico have had. Two headers that have really hit the goalkeeper anywhere but where they've headed them, and certainly Mexico would have been level.
And you're left feeling that if only Mexico had shown the attitude and commitment in the opening 15 minutes that they have for most of the game since, in fairness, then we might have had a very different scoreline here.
Well, the game's just been to the two extremes. Defensively, very, very poor, and from an attacking point of view, very, very bright and clever.
5 minutes to go in Asuncion. Peru could become the first semi-finalists of this Copa America, but Mexico have been excellent in this second half. So close to a goal so often. But that layoff is disappointing as Carmona had come forward. There's a gap he's left behind now. Peru seemingly not anxious to fit it. They just want to keep possession at this stage. Look how crowded it is, though, in their own half. An eye of the needle ball there, kept in by Soto. Well, with a quarter of an hour gone in this game, Peru 2-0 up, and Mexico almost disinterested. We could never have imagined a finish like this, as the long-striding Soto takes it forward. Well, had he played that ball accurately, then Peru surely would have clinched it, but he didn't, and Mexico are still in the match.
Well, that was absolutely brilliant play. He let it run, spun, and got in behind the Mexican defence. I just don't know why he didn't go on and try and finish it himself. There wasn't the support there when he cut it back square, and I'm just amazed that he didn't finish it off himself, or at least attempt to finish it.
Well, we've seen a highly entertaining Copa America throughout the first phase, but now that we've reached the knockout stage of the tournament, the excitement increases, and this has been a terrific game and a very fitting way to start the quarter-finals.
Well, if it's a taste of things to come, Alan, we are in for some spectacular games over the next few hours tonight, and certainly tomorrow as well.
Peru trying to keep possession now, but they might make something of this attack. Nope. They've conceded the goal kick, and crucially, Mexico can get the ball forward now and try and keep that pressure on. Interestingly, they didn't decide for the long kick upfield from Campos. They want to play it out from the back, something they weren't doing early on in the game. Carmona for Mexico. 3-2 behind. 3 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Time to gamble now, all right. Palencia has had one great opportunity to bring Mexico level. Decent looking ball. And the shot has produced the equaliser. Oh, what a brilliant finish from Tirado. And you have to say, Mexico deserve it. Brilliantly struck shot from 20 yards and more. And goalkeeper Ibanez comprehensively beaten, and with under 3 minutes to go, Mexico have drawn level.
Well, and you got it dead right, Alan, when you said they played out from the back. The ball was finally swung into the box. I think it was Reynoso, didn't quite get a clean header on it. Comes out to the edge of the box. Still a lot to do for Toredo, but what a fierce right foot shot. And I've got to say, nothing more than Mexico deserve from their attacking play in this second half. Drawn themselves level, and well, you just couldn't guess what's going to happen. What a great strike.
3-3, and now the possibility of a penalty shootout to decide the first semi-finalists, and psychologically Mexico in the driving seat. And I've rarely seen such a remarkable contrast in the form and attitude of a team within the 90 minutes.
They've just gone from the sublime to the ridiculous at times, and thoroughly entertaining though, and it's certainly not over yet.
Whoops! Ooh, he took a risk there, Campos. He never does the ordinary, does he? He never does the orthodox. Well, Mexico can feel justifiably there's time to win it in normal time, but not with passes like that. That was straight to Io.
But that's been unusual. They've been so much better in the second half. The way they've passed and moved, run off the ball, kept possession. And really, they do look an exceptional team at times. And as we said, absolutely awful defensively at others.
Remember, Peru were 2 up inside 15 minutes and 3-2 up at half-time. Certainly, Coach Oblitas will be furious if they throw this one away. And a foul given there against Marquez. Remember, Mexico in the World Cup finals last year took part in some strange games where their mood seemed to swing as much as the scoreline has in this game. And they've carried on in the same vein here in the Copa América, where we have now moved into stoppage time in this opening quarter-final. And the excellent Hernandez wins his team a throw-in. 2 minutes of stoppage time to be played here in Asuncion. Paraguay and Uruguay might have to wait a little bit longer to get their quarter-final underway. Oof, that will have hurt, with about 13 stone of Hernandez landing on Reynoso and knocking the wind out of him there. Carmona from Mexico plays it back to the goal scorer of that sensational strike, Tirado. Now the goalkeeper having to take a little bit of a risk there, Ibanez, as Palencia threatened. Well, if this is the hors d'oeuvre for the main feast of Paraguay against Uruguay, then the crowd here will have been hugely entertained, and that looks like Palencia's last involvement in the game. Maybe the coach has sent on a recognised penalty taker here in Tarafas. He certainly did score a goal against Brazil from about a yard out in 3-1 defeat. To Peru's goalkeeper Ibanez, not a man you want to get injured at this stage with the possibility of a penalty shootout. He makes a clean catch, and there can only be seconds remaining now. Suarez covering well. And that's it. It's all over for the time being in Asuncion. And the first quarter-final has ended in a 3-3 draw between Peru and Mexico here. A fantastic game, some fabulous goals. Mexico deservedly drawing level late on with a terrific shot by Tirado. It'll now go to penalties. It looks like the experienced defender Claudio Suarez first on from the 12-yard spot for Mexico. Their most capped player ever, with over 100 international appearances behind him, with the first penalty kick. The drama starts here.
It's got to be stay focused and hit that target.
Well, Well, the goalkeeper got a hand to it, but there was enough power in the shot from Suarez to give Mexico the lead.
It was a fine strike, went for power, goalkeeper went the right way, maybe got a fingertip to it, but certainly wasn't going to keep that penalty shot out. Good opening for Mexico.
Decent effort by Ibanez to get there. Now the extravagant Campos, and the man he faces, Newcastle United's Solano, who scored a cracking goal from open play during the match. Oh dear, did that cross the line? He's trying to say it did.
I think it did. Underside of the crossbar, but I think maybe about a foot over the line.
Spot on. And the linesman well placed to adjudicate should there have been any dispute. Certainly Campos was trying to claim that it didn't cross the line, and initially it was certainly debatable, but clearly over 1-1.
And whether the linesman was actually positioned there for exactly that, if he was, that's a superb move from the organisers.
Terrazas steps forward to take Mexico's second penalty. And beautifully struck. Oh, look at the relief. Look at the relief from him.
Well, he was coolness personified in the taking of the penalty, but you could see how much it meant to him when it ended up in the back of the net. Sent the goalkeeper completely the wrong way. Side foot, top corner.
Experienced defender. And beautifully struck again. Sent the goalkeeper the wrong way to bring it to 2-2.
Well, I don't know if they've been practicing their penalty kicks, but so far, absolute perfection.
2 kicks each, both. And the next penalty also sweetly struck. Well, the accuracy of these spot kicks could see us in for quite a long night, it seems, here. Garcia, this time, rattling the ball. So they're brothers. The elder brother has his opportunity from the penalty spot to bring Peru level. Oh dear, he screamed it over the bar. Not unlike one of Palermo's horrific misses for Argentina the other night, and we've had the first miss.
Well, he opts for power and really...
Zepeda steps up. Can Ibanez keep it out and keep Peru in with a chance? No! Struck firmly into the roof of the net. An excellent penalty by Zepeda, and Mexico take a 4-2 advantage now.
Again, he opts for accuracy over power, right into the right-hand top corner. Goalkeeper at full stretch, can never reach it when it's there. That's a crucial penalty to give him that 2-goal advantage.
It's Reynoso from the spot. Oh, it's an awful penalty. An awful miss. And Mexico celebrate and become the first of the semi-finalists in the 1999 Copa América. Reynoso didn't look right, even as he put the ball on the spot, and certainly as he approached it. And that's a very poor penalty, I have to say, and one that has effectively eliminated his team from the tournament. Clive Allen.
Well, yes, and I felt that Mexico maybe had the upper hand going into the penalties. They'd been let off the hook when really Peru should have tied the game up. Their penalties were absolutely impeccable. A dramatic way to finish this game. There was never anything between the teams, and Mexico have booked their berth in a semi-final after a quite incredible quarter-final here.
With 20 minutes gone here in Asuncion, you wouldn't have given a prayer for Mexico taking their place in the last 4, but they've come back from that. They've won the penalty shootout by 4-2, having drawn 3-3 over 90 minutes, and Mexico are penciled in as the first semi-finalists, and they'll play either Brazil or Argentina. What a dramatic start to the knockout stage here in Asuncion.